Stadium for the men's T20 Grand Final. My name's Zach Peace. I'm here with Mac Wright and Clive Rose. Welcome, gents.
Thanks, Zachy. Well, good to be here.
Got a big match-up today, the Battle of Sandy Bay between University and South Hobart Sandy Bay. Uni won the toss and sent South Hobart Sandy Bay in. What do you think about that decision to start, boys?
I think it's showed yesterday. Mitchie showed it was a pretty good wicket, so I think they just fancy themselves chasing down a total. Whatever Sandy Bay put together, they got both teams are quite even, I think, in their lineup. So no real big strengths bowling or batting, I think.
Yeah, I think the decision makes sense for Uni. It can be nice just to get out in the field, run off a few nerves and whatever. But this wicket is quite used now, so. The way I see it going is I think this wicket's going to slow down quite a bit. I think the ball's going to get chewed up. There's a few old used wickets on this square as well. So I think definitely the batters are going to have to make use of the new ball up top. And then we'll see throughout the middle and the back end of the innings. It's going to be quite hard to score, I reckon. So look, Ben Dunk here at the crease. This is going to be box office. World-class player, and he's still got a magic, the old boy. So.
And opening the batting with him is Sam Voss, who's had a really strong CTPL season as well, opening the batting for the Sharks. But I think you're right. Dunky's going to look to take on that short boundary with Louis Smith opening the bowling. Another Pathways graduate, Clive. You works much with Louis?
Yeah, I've seen Louis since he was pretty young, under 15s, coming through, and he's always been a pretty good cricketer. Good with the ball, and then he actually can bat a little bit too. So he's a pretty good, nice prospect for Uni throughout for the next few years. And I think he's played a couple of second 11 games too. So he's had a little bit of a taste of the next level up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's selected in the T20 as he comes in for the first ball here. Oh, catch. Great start here for Uni. Just sort of spooned that one up to cover there. That's a great first ball by Louis Smith.
Oh, so unlucky. It just showed maybe the wicket is a little bit slow. Mackie might be right there. Ben Dunk way too early on this shot. It looks like from the replay there. Nice catch by Timmy Ward at short cover.
Yeah, it didn't look like it did too much. Maybe a little bit in.
Yeah, geez, horror start there for the Sharks. Their big fish, Ben Dunk, got first ball just a bit early on it. Fortunately for the Sharks, he's going back to the sheds, but that does bring out Sean Willis, one of their all-time greats. Is he their leading scorer?
Pretty sure he is. Yeah, as of maybe last year, he might have broken it, but a guy who'd be very familiar to playing on Ninja Stadium between Tigers games and then also CTPL finals as well. Absolute class cricketer. I reckon he'll be relishing this moment, won't he?
I think he'll be glad to just be out there early. To be honest, you don't have to sit around and wait. You can just get into it. He can maximise his balls faced. He's got a full innings to work with, so I think the Sharks will be very happy he's at the crease.
Louis Smith would also be very happy there with the first ball, just spoon to cover. Like, as a bowler, Clive, you must be so happy when you see that first ball go down and then a wicket as well.
Oh, absolutely. He'd be a little bit nervous, as you would be as a youngster playing in a grand final. So nice one to get the wicket first ball, just to calm the nerves a little bit and get himself into the game.
Here comes Smith. Just outside the off stump there. Willis kind of hangs out his bat.
So a little bit of shape away from the batter, the right-hander there.
He's got pretty good pace too from Louis. Have you seen how fast he's been bowling in the nets at all?
I haven't, no. Mac, have you been training with the Tigers group a little bit?
Yeah, he has joined the Tigers squad for a fair few trainings, and yeah, I think he's impressed for the most part. One thing I didn't really realise is how good his batting is. He's impressed me with that, but his bowling's certainly coming along as he's coming in again to Willis.
Ooh, how is that? Oh, he nearly celebrated as if there's a wicket there.
Maybe. Trying to sell it, maybe?
Yeah, just down leg, potentially. I don't know, it looked pretty good to me.
This is one thing for certain here. Uni getting a wicket in their first over, they're going to have their tails up. They're a side that once they get a sniff of being in front, they absolutely let you know about it. And you can see with that appeal, they were desperate for a second one of their first over.
And they're a pretty young team as well, Uni. I know I've been hearing around the traps that they were the youngest team to win a first grade premiership in a long period of time, potentially even ever. So they've got a bit more experience today in the squad, but as Smith comes in, Good full face of the bat there by Willis, an easy single down there. But obviously they've got their Tigers players playing today as well with Brad Hope, Tim Ward and Jake Doran. It's always nice when you have experienced players like that come back and play in your Premier competition for these younger guys, and then obviously for the quality of the match as well.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Premier League down here, is that when those first class players filter back through the competition, it's so strong. And when you get these players coming up against each other, it makes for a really good contest. And you can see that the younger guys coming through the ranks, especially this uni team, they get exposure to that, and that's only going to make them better cricketers for it.
And the confidence Louis Smith's going to get from getting Ben Dunk out as well, who's still playing professional cricket around the world, that'll get him up and about as he comes in. A little wayward there down the leg side. Wide ball. So 1 for 2 off the first 4 balls. A pretty great start here for Uni.
Sammy Bosses have a pretty good season this year. I think he's in the top 10 run scorers at the moment, and been bowling pretty well. From talking to Harry Nichols, who's been playing with him a little bit. Another exciting young kid coming through, I reckon.
Smith comes in. Nice sound off the bat there as it goes to mid-off. Looking at Uni's lineup as well, Parama Powell's definitely going to be a big factor for them today. Second overall in the T20 runs for this year with 106, and then first in overall runs for the season, and then second overall in the bowling for the T20 as well with 11 wickets at an average of 8.82. He's having a hell of a season, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a serious player, and it's good to see that he's really made the most of his opportunities this year.
Smith, one little tempter there.
Yeah, just on Param, I've had a look at the stats this morning, and he's leading run scorer in the whole competition at the moment with 700 runs, and leading wicket taker as well with 35 wickets. So you know he's definitely on track to get 1,000 runs for the season, which is an amazing feat. With the two-day cricket coming up after Christmas and flood of wickets, obviously.
He's been getting a bit of opportunity in the second 11 as well, and it's always good when you see someone move down here and then to one perform and then get those opportunities, which certainly shows that it's worthwhile making that big move from, I think he was from Sydney, is that right?
Yeah, from Sydney, yeah.
Absolutely, and I think sometimes, we've got seen players come in for a year or two and not quite dominate the grade cricket as much as they would like. It takes a little while to get used to the wickets down here in the play. And Param's stuck it out, which is really nice to see.
Comes Bradley Hope here. Great ball there. Pretty good pace, just on the back foot as Willis goes to sort of work that one through the offside. Hope's bowling especially has improved over the last little bit. Like we saw last year with the Tigers, that he made that amazing century to win us a game, I think, against Queensland. But do you think his bowling's definitely got the ability to go to another level?
He just finds a way to make a breakthrough at key times. When there's not much happening out there for the bowlers, he can just find something.
Comes Hope. Another top ball there.
Yeah, he just has skills that he can call upon at the right time, and in those moments when you haven't been able to make a breakthrough for a while, if you've got a bowler you can throw the ball to, and more times than not they can take that breakthrough, then you can bring your strike bowlers back on and really rip through a side. So Hope he's played that role really well for Tassie over the last couple of seasons now.
Especially coming in down the end as well, where it can be batting with the tail enders. He does a great job to sort of look after the strike as he comes in here. Worked into the leg side for a single out to deep square.
Mac, what's with Hope's bowling? What's his main weapon? What's he great at? For me, just watching him bowl, I haven't played with him or against him to be honest. But it looks like he's just got good control of. He can set a plan and he can bowl to that plan, and he just bowls a nagging length as well. Stands a seam up.
Yeah, I think that nagging length is his key asset, and he just has the ability to nip it. I'm not sure if he means it or not, but he just finds a way just to nibble the ball. He is a nibbler. Can shape the ball if there is some swing on offer, but today I can't see a heap of swing sticking around for very long on this rough surface.
Hope comes in. Just worked into the leg side.
Time the pants off.
Jeez, he's timed that.
Little one hand, one bounce shout there potentially. There wouldn't be many times where Hope would take the new ball for Tassie, right? He's usually your second, maybe third change. So it'd be interesting to see what he can do with the white ball.
Change of field here.
On Mate goes back.
Jake Doran's come up at point there. It's strange seeing him in the field without the gloves on behind the stumps.
yeah.
He told me yesterday he was taking the gloves, so I don't know what's happened. Work through the offside. Oh no,
Speak of the
misfield
devil.
there.
Yeah, interesting that he didn't take the gloves now that, Nicky, who's been the Radhakrishnan, that's been the keeper for the majority of the season, got injured yesterday, I think, or the day before, so he's out.
Yeah, I believe it's Tom Roberts who's taking the gloves to Uni, who's played a lot of second grade for them and captained their side as well. So Andy Gloveman comes in. Just work back to mid off there.
Interesting choice of balls those last two. It looked like they've brought up the deep point fielder and he's bowled two wide outside off. But he's gotten away with it with only two coming off those last two balls. So
Are we going to call it the double bluff or
it was just
bluff?
maybe.
Nice start here for Uni though. 2 overs done and only 1 for 5. So it's a nice start. What do you think, Mac, on this wicket? What do you reckon Uni? What do you reckon is a good score?
Well, we saw last night in the Big Bash that the Scorchers were on track for a score of 180, which I reckon probably 170 sort of on that wicket looked about par. But they fell quite short, ending up on 155.
Comes Smith. This works at the mid on.
Yeah, so I'll probably see around sort of the 150, 160. You'd be very happy with that score on this used wicket now. And yeah, runs on the board in a final. That's only going to put the Uni batters under pressure. So yeah, I mean it's one thing to put a par number up there, but until both sides bat on it, then you're not 100% sure on what a good score will be. But yeah, I think around that 150, 160, it gives your bowler something to bowl at, doesn't it?
And it looks like Uni's got a couple of spin options as well today. So I think this wicket will take a little bit of spin.
Louis Smith coming around the wicket now. Great shot there by Voss. Worked over mid-wicket for a 4 there. Well-timed boundary there for the Sharks with 2 for 5 with the first 2 overs. Little settler there for the Sharkies.
Yeah, just picked up a nice length there. Just chipped it over mid-wicket for 4. Good contact. It's a nice cricket bat. Sounds very nice.
Yeah, it does.
Must be one of Dunkies.
He's absolutely rocketing off Voss's bat at the moment. He's making use of that short leg side boundary there. As we see Uni making another field change. Another one goes out on the leg side. Fine leg comes up.
Smith coming in for his second over here. Yeah, just to that man out there to catch. Gee, that's pretty good captaincy there, moving the fielder out. I don't know about that shot from Voss there, especially with the field change. Any thoughts, Mac?
Paddy Dooley absolutely loves that one. I reckon I could hear a "yeah, baby" from up here. That's his go-to call. He gets very excited whenever they take a wicket. That's Paddy Dooley, but Sam Voss falling straight into the trap there set by Uni. The first ball that fielder's gone out, he's hit it straight down his throat.
Yeah, I don't know whether he was trying to hit that. He sort of half tried to hit it for 6, didn't really quite commit to it. I don't know whether he was trying to hit it straighter and it got a bit straight on him, and he pulled it square. But yeah, really interesting shot there with those 2 fielders out and picked out only one.
About Sandy Payne. Now 2 for 10. Coming out to bat now, I believe it's Tom Willoughby, another experienced first grade cricketer. We watched the replay there of Paddy Dooley. Doesn't matter what cricket Paddy Dooley's playing. I've got to be one of the better celebrators in all of cricket, right?
Yeah, he gets up for the contest, which I mean, if you're Uni, you absolutely love that. If you got one of your players who's playing at the highest level coming back and still investing, like that's really what you want to see. To play against, it can be quite frustrating. I know he gets under the skin of a lot of competitors, but look, that's just who he is, and at least he's consistent. He doesn't just do it at the Big Bash level; he does it at all levels.
Yeah, that's what I love about Dools. It doesn't matter what level he's playing, he's committing and he's trying to win the game for his team. And he's 100% committed. So
that's why he's been a crowd favourite for the Hurricanes for years, right? Great ball by Smith again. Working to the offside, no run. Very familiar with Tom Willoughby, Clive.
yeah, nice little left-hand batter and bowls left-arm spin as well. Cagey cricketer, I think, really smart, understands the game really well. and really competitive. He doesn't back down from anyone. Quiet guy, but if you poke him, he doesn't take a backward step, which I like about him.
Love to see it.
But yeah, I think he's developed his game a little bit more, got a little bit more power, but he's competed in first grade for a number of years.
Smith comes in, just down the leg side there for a wide. Louis Smith's got to be happy here. Another wicket. 2 for 8 in his first 2 overs. The question is now, do you bowl him for a third, considering how well he's bowling, and you're really putting a bit of pressure now on the Sharks, or do you maybe save one for the surge and one at the death? What's your feeling as a coach, Clive? What do you usually try and, obviously the captain's making the decision out there, but what do you guys sort of speak about within the Hurricane setup? Comes in. Good looking cricket shot.
Yeah, well, depend on how they've been setting up their T20 game and who's been the experienced bowlers bowling in those big moments in the surge and at the death. You know, I feel like sometimes when you've got a team and you've got a team down like this, you put the foot on the throat. If you can get Shawnee Willis here, it might go a long way into keeping them down under that 150, 160 score. So. Yeah, it depends on who their options are in the surge and the death, and if they've got other options, because you could keep going, Louis.
Comes in. Oh, fine there. Take him how you get him at this point when it's 2 for 11. An edge just fine of short third man there.
Healthy edge there. I like that from Willoughby though. He's got the width there with everyone up on the offside. Just throw some hands at it. You're going to be pretty unlucky if you manage to pick out a fielder there. So well played, Willoughby.
Yeah, both bowlers changing their field at the back end of their over and then just mis-executing a little bit. You got to miss. You can't miss the stumps with that sort of field. With 2 on the leg and no one back on the off.
Hope to continue here for his second over. I imagine we'll probably see Param or Brett or Paddy Dooley in the next over potentially if they decide to not go with a third over for Smith. Do you reckon Hope's probably going to try and adjust his line a little bit with the 2 that were a little bit short outside off? Maybe that was the plan.
Yeah, I think you target the stumps here.
So full. Willis works out to deep point there for a single.
Yeah, with this split field, it's more about your length, I reckon. You've got to get top of the stumps. You can't get too full with this field. You've got split field, 1 on the leg and 1 on the off. So you'd rather miss 2 short than 2 full.
And with Hope deciding to come around the wicket as well for the lefty, he's probably just trying to stop that wider ball that comes across. What's your usual thoughts with coming around the wicket to the lefty versus the right? So works around. Could be a couple there. Come back for a second.
And it's a no ball too.
Willis maybe wanted the single there to try and take the free hit potentially, but Willoughby gets to think it. Keep it, sorry.
So you do a little slip on the first run when you get there to the crease.
Sorry. Sorry.
Slips.
Just going back to Hope coming around the wicket to the lefty there, Mac. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's an attacking move. I think with Willoughby being early in his innings, he's going to try and dismiss him. So they'll have a little staggered field as well.
So gets after it pretty well straight up and come through for a single. Dooley takes the catch. No celebration, but there seems to be a few claps from the crowd who maybe weren't aware that that one was a free hit.
Good old crowd catch.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, just going back to Hope, yeah, I think it is an attacking move, and with a new batter at the crease, they'll stagger the field, try and stop an easy single and allowing him off strike early so he can build some pressure and bring about a rash shot.
Comes Hope. Just outside of stump there.
Yeah, it just allows Hopey to attack the stumps a little bit more and keep the stumps. LBW bowls are in play and then catches in front of the wicket. Whereas if he's probably over the wicket with not much spin, not much swing, LBW is probably out of contention there and probably comes into the batter's swinging arc as well. Allows Willoughby to be able to swing his arms and hit through the offside a bit more.
Comes Hope. There it is, attacking the stumps. Little half shout there. Kind of good from where we were.
Inside edge, I think, and maybe sliding down.
So what you're
There's a
saying,
couple
Austin,
of noises.
Yeah, completely off the mark. See the replay
It's
there.
always worth a shout.
Yeah.
Any bad contact, you've got to go up.
Is there any chance that that shout might have been Paddy Dooley?
Definitely.
What are you saying? Slow-mo? Yeah, down leg.
It's allowed to hit leg stump though, isn't it?
It is.
Around the wicket again. Let's work that nicely for one. On the first one hard. Just a single there out to the man. I think it's Jake Doran on the boundary there. One ball left in the over here. Pretty good power play for Uni here.
With Jake Doran not having the gloves, we're going to see him bowl today.
Maybe. He has taken wickets at should level before. Cagey little left armour. Jeez, you'd love to see it.
Comes hope. Just a wide there. On Doran's bowling, I did hear Bo Webster on a podcast recently speaking about how he decided to bowl pace after seeing Jake Doran bowl pace in the Shield game. So if Bo does play for Australia, I think Jake might be able to claim some of that.
Yeah. Shaming someone into bowl pace. That's a pretty nice catalyst, that.
It's just the Jake Doran experience, isn't it? Comes hope. Oh, that's worked fine. That's a good shot. 4 runs there for Willis.
It's a coach killer, that.
Yeah.
Boundary off the last ball of an over. He was a bit way with that over hope, hitting both sides of the wicket, and unfortunately couldn't close out that. It's quite a long over in the end now. How many balls is
10
that?
off.
8 balls.
Yeah.
Young Jericho Dickens fetching that ball. Hopefully we see him into the game nice and early. 5th over now, so 5 players out of the ring allowed, and we got the leading wicket taker in the CTPL take the ball.
As captain as well, he probably wants to grab the ball and really take this game by the scruff of the neck as well, right? And he has every right to be bowling now, considering he's the leading wicket taker in the league. What can you tell us about his leggies, Mac, as a leg spinner yourself?
Yeah, look, it's going to be exciting. We see Param coming on here straight out of the power play. While the ball's a bit harder, I think, with Param's skill and able to restrict runs, I think that's a good move. And then when the ball's a bit softer, I think you can throw to the leggy who can look to be a bit more attacking.
Right there, attacking the stumps. So you got the 3 out on the leg side, and then the long off with a short cover and the deep out on the offside. Pretty conventional field for a spinner in T20 cricket. It's a single there, works it down to long off. They look to come back for 2, not quite there.
What do you think, Mac? You know, the 2 for 28 in the 4th over. Param bowl into a left-hand batter. Do you think they could put a bit more pressure on Tommy there? Try to keep him on strike early in the over?
Yeah, I think they definitely could. I think from a Sharks perspective, they're just going to look to rotate the strike here and build a partnership. I don't think there's going to be anything too expansive. Obviously, they're still going to look for a boundary if it's there, but they're just going to try and rotate the strike as much as they can.
I'm usually a big turner of the ball, or is it more trying to beat him through the air?
It's just cagey with his changes of pace, isn't he? He does have the one that can go the other way. I don't think there'll be a heap of spin out there for him today, though. Clive, what are your thoughts?
Get the leg side there.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Mac. He is cagey. Changes his pace really well. Been holding his length very well too as a spinner. And he's got a couple of little tricks as well. I don't know whether he's been bowling it much in Premier Cricket. He's got one that can go the other way. But yeah, he's just a cagey bowler. Been playing for a little while.
This is out on 1. Single low.
Lots of balls hitting the stumps, I reckon, and then in the back of an over, he'll look to bowl his 1 ball, hit a sweeper out, just like that one there. You tossed it wide and allow Willoughby just to hit it out for a 1 out to the sweeper, but he'll stick on the stumps and just pray that the batter makes a mistake.
Comes in here. Nearly in the zone there. They might look for 2 here. Pretty big pocket there.
Yeah,
Come back easily for 2.
big boundary on that side there. I wonder what side they'll bowl the bowl leg spinner. What end would you bowl? Would you bowl them from down this end, from the boon stand end, to spin away from the short boundary, or would you allow them to attack the stumps from the top end?
Oh, look, you can you can play on their ego a little bit. You can target that and have that leg side boundary available to the batter and see if they want to take it on. That can bring about a wicket, or if you want to be a bit more conservative and protect the leggy, you can allow him to bowl into the big side. So with a left-hand, right-hand combination, I think it's not going to make a huge difference. If there becomes two righties in the crease, then I think, yeah, he'll probably bowl from the top end, I reckon.
Yep.
Dooley coming into bowl here for his first over. Looking to take the game on here. Good start. Through the offside for one.
You see Paddy Dooley rocking a sharp new haircut at the moment. Bit off brand for him. He usually has a healthy head of hair. He's a good looking rooster, but the range that Dooley has, he can pull off lots of different hairstyles. So he's gone with the freshly shaved buzz cut. He did mention the other day his scalp did get sunburned because he forgot to sunscreen it, given there's not much coverage up there at the moment.
Must be nice to be able to have such variety with your hair.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Comes Dooley here. Straight, really threatening the stumps there. Willis does a good job to keep that one out.
It's nice length from his first two balls there by Dooley. You know, watching him bowl in the Big Bash last year, I think that's one thing that I noticed. I reckon he just missed his length a little bit. He went either too short or went too full. And I don't know whether that's because of the way batters are playing him nowadays.
Willis. Oh, well fielded out there. Oh, very well fielded.
Great job.
That looked for all money, didn't it?
So who's that out there?
That's Param, I think.
Yeah. Of course he did.
Param's done a good
He
job.
does
there.
it all, Param. He moves well. He's a great fielder. Very handy with the ball. Smacks him with the bat. He's someone who every team could benefit from having.
Yeah. It's had the foresight, though, to throw that back as well when all your momentum's going the other way. Comes Dooley. Oh.
A little bit of spin there from outside off stump. The lefty. Yeah, Param, the perfect player in a Premier League game. I reckon can do everything and excels at everything too.
Comes Dooley. Single round to short third.
I don't mind that field to the lefty, putting in the extra, taking out the point for an extra mid wicket, just to put a bit more pressure on. I think that's what I think Param could do a little bit more to let left to Tommy Willoughby if he's bowling, just to add more dots. I think you just can't let batters rotate the strike and get into their innings because this ground's so big. It's tough to defend.
Yeah. Dooley. Just a little short, chipped up. Good chipping there. Just the one.
60 degree there from Willis.
Yeah, exactly. Bit of backspin on it.
Yep. Clive, you mentioned about Dooley. He may have just helped his consistency with the ball. Is there anything, given your experience playing with the Hurricanes now with your coaching hat on, is there anything more Dooley could be doing to be pushing his case for being a regular in the Hurricanes team at the moment?
Look, I've only seen a little bit of duels and I'm playing in games, so I don't really know. And I don't want to just throw things out there, but you know, one thing that I do think is really important in spin nowadays is you've got to beat batters in the air. It's a quick single there. And because one thing I have noticed is batters are playing so well off the back foot nowadays. So you can't bowl flat into the wicket because they do pull you off that length. So you need to be able to make batters think that the ball's going to be fuller than what it is, or a lot of the time, and that's how you can beat them. And I think if Dools can find a way to just get a little bit more shape on the ball, I think he'll.
Will he be using the crease there?
Yeah, I think he'll be a little bit more effective as well, and he won't see batters play him off the back foot as easily. I think.
Yeah.
Is that you faced him a little bit?
Yeah,
what do you think?
recently I think that's one change he has made. He looks like he's actually trying to spin his stock ball a bit more, which it becomes a lot harder to face. It's not just skidding through.
Yeah, that's the only thing I noticed. I don't even think he was good in the first season that he played. No one really knew what he did, and it was a little bit of a different action. But then, you know, you get the second year blues, as most players do.
Ball comes in. Willis looking to sweep into the gap. Smith fielding out there. It's a good arm to I've seen Willis now a couple of times look to sweep outside his off stump. It's obviously a favourite shot of his.
He's he's got good skills, Sean Willis. He can sweep both sides of the wicket, and we can see him making use of these deep pockets out here. The leg side fielders, the big boundary, you have their work cut out today.
There it is again. It's a spin there, Clive.
Yeah, so Shawnee, he's probably one of the better players to spin in the competition, has been for a long time, and this is the reason. He sweeps well. He can play both sides of the wicket, and he can also play behind the wicket too. So it's really tough as a bowler to set fields to contain him.
Oh, great shot by Willoughby. It's a 6 there.
First maximum.
First 6 of the day. Well done, Willoughby.
I believe that boundary was 56 metres last night, so he's done a good job to get that one up there. Doesn't seem to be too much wind at this stage at Ninja Stadium, maybe a little bit, but done well to get under that one.
Yeah, after seeing that, I'd be really, I'd probably bowl the young leggy from this end, I reckon, just spinning away from the right-hander and the left-hander from the other end. But once the lefty's out, if you've got two right-handed batters in, you can bowl from the other end, I reckon. But looks like a small boundary, and it looks like Tommy will probably try to target the short boundary, and Shawnee will target the short boundary from this end.
Dooley comes in for his second over here. Bit flatter. Willis works into the leg side. Just for one.
As a batter, you do need to make sure you're keeping both sides of the ground in play. If you become too short side focused, that can really be not helpful if that's all you're targeting, because there's so much space out here on this big side to use as well. You'd be foolish to leave that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Comes Dooley. Leg side again. They'll push for 2 potentially. It's good, just the one.
Well done to Dawes there. Yeah, you're right, Mac. I reckon from a bowling perspective too, because you know batters are going to target that short boundary, so you throw it out a little bit wider, and if you can hit a couple of balls onto the short boundary and get a couple of twos, it sort of, as a bowler, you want to air a bit straighter, and then you can target the short boundary then.
Less than 19 not out now. Good effort there at cover.
We see the Sharks just building a nice partnership here. It's up to 40 now off 30 balls, which is, I think that's the perfect rebuild coming out of a power play where they lost 2 wickets.
Yeah.
I think now that they've established themselves, both batters have faced some balls on this pitch and have the speed. Now I think they can start to accelerate slightly more and put the pressure back on Dooley.
Absolutely. Dooley. James up. 2 for 50 here. Dooley coming in. Still there, down to long off. Still bowling a little flat, Clive. Would you still like him to float it up a little bit more?
It's tough to say from over here, but like just watching how the batters are playing him, I think he's been bowling pretty well. I think he's doing really well. You know, you got Shawnee, that's 20 off 23, and Tommy Willoughby with that 6 last over. You know, he's 21 off 17, so the game's still in the balance here.
Dooley. Willis works into leg side. Looking for 2, just a single. I'm sure everyone listening, Max, probably wondering when you're back playing cricket, mate, how's the recovery going from your knee injury?
It's going well, thank you. A couple of ACL boys sitting up here in the booth at the moment. Clive, you're the odd one out. Poor old Zach's come a cropper and hurt his knee playing futsal.
Hope it's not contagious.
Yeah, well, I think you just watch yourself the next few weeks, Clive. But no, I'm real close. I'll be playing for Lindisfarne on the 4th of Jan, which, yeah, it's a nice feeling knowing that that's just around the corner. It's been a long 10 months of rehab, but yeah, it'll be great to play again. It's been a bit of a tease watching everyone else play.
Yeah, of course.
You're just training away in the background, so it's going to be great to get the competitive juices flowing again, and hopefully string together a nice strong back half of the season.
Absolutely. Comes Christian Yankoviak here. Left arm up. Works in the leg side. They'll push for 2. Just a single here.
Another good cricketer, young cricketer, Christian. Bowls nice left arm swing and whacks it with the bat. Hits a long ball. So it'll be exciting to see how he goes today. Haven't seen a lot of him this season. Mac, have you watched a bit of uni play? And
I watched him play at Lindisfarne a few weeks ago against Lindisfarne, and I was impressed. I hadn't seen him prior to that. I think he's got quite a powerful, quite a whippy action, which I like, and I think it could be effective on this wicket. He's not huge, so he could just skid a few through and maybe hurry the batter up, maybe even get someone on the pads. As Willoughby is struck on the pads.
Oh, you love to say that, don't you?
Gee.
Don't you, Mac?
My crystal ball.
Yeah, hit on the pads as he
Wow.
says it. 2 for 53 here after 8.2.
Gee whiz.
Jumped up in the air there too, hasn't he?
It's a great decision. That's just hit him outside the line then, but yeah, a little bit nip back in to the lefty. Didn't bounce very much either, so not sure if that's a great sign for uni.
Now the Trent Bolt with both legs going in the air there.
Koyak goes down to third man for a single there.
PC, do you know who the umpires are today?
I can definitely find that out.
It's one of them, Sam
Looks like we have
Burns.
Sam Burns.
Yeah,
That's not Wade at the other end.
looks a little bit like Wade.
It's a solid start here from the lefty. I think it just provides a bit of a point of difference too, that different angle. To the right hander, it can be easy to face, but for a lefty with the angle coming in, it can be challenging.
Also releases the ball from very close to the stumps, doesn't he?
Umpires today are Wade Stewart and Sam Burns. So 50% run. 2 for 55. It's probably about even so far. So looking where the Sharks are at the moment, what do you think is a good score from where they are now? Probably around that sort of 140, 150 mark maybe? Koyak? Oh, edged fine. It's racing away. It was a quick outfield last night for the Hurricanes, and today's no different as that one goes around for 4.
Yeah, like there's 12 overs or 11 overs left. Still got a surge as well, and so they've built up nicely to take the surge on here with 2 in batters. So it'll be interesting to see when they take the surge and if they take it early. But you know, you could easily get 100 in the last 10 if they bat well. Sandy Bay.
And the partnership's now gone to 49 off 39, which is just great to see after that not so good start. And there's the 50 partnership for South Hobart Sandy Bay there. Willis and Willoughby.
I think wickets in hand becomes very important through this middle period. If the Sharks can keep these 2 batters going throughout the middle, and then they give themselves a bit of a launching pad at the end to really get a wriggle on, and as Clive said, really make use of the surge and get that 100 off the last 10 overs. So I definitely think that 160 is still very much in their grasp, but Uni will look to try and just find some sort of breakthrough through these middle overs, and then I think that's when they can really restrict with their skillful spinners in Upal and Dooley, and then the youngster coming in with some leggies as well. You never know, he might be the one to make the breakthrough. I think Uni need to be brave here and just try something different as we're into the 9th over here, over before the drinks break.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was a perfect time to bowl the young leggy. You know, as a batting group, you're probably just looking to get to the drinks, and then set yourself up for a surge.
Let's hope. It's worked in the leg side. Just a single.
I wouldn't be surprised if these 2 just try to get 6 off this over, 6 singles, and then reassess after this. So I think they've burnt an over from one of their experienced players here a little bit early.
And as a batter as well, Mac, if you see the young leg spinner who potentially hasn't played a lot of first grade come on, are your eyes lighting up and potentially looking to cash in versus hope, where you're probably a little bit more guarded and not trying to wait for one of those other overs where the youngster's coming in?
Yeah, definitely.
Worked into the offside. Big pocket out there. They'll look for 2.
I can answer that for Mac, because I've seen him take down a couple of young leggies from Kingborough back when I played. So yeah, I think it's only smart. You want to put pressure on the young player, don't you, early on in his spell, so he doesn't get into it. So I'll be interesting to see how they play that out. I'm really interested to see when they go for the surge, like whether they take it early and they be brave, or whether they just let the game play out.
Comes home. The offside for a single there by Willis.
Yeah, the surge becomes an interesting one, doesn't it, Clive? Because there's been some different methods we've seen in the Big Bash with teams taking it. If there's not many wickets fallen, teams often look to take it early, and that's seen as a positive option. But if there's two batters in there that aren't quite set, they tend to hold it back a bit. Some set batters also don't like taking it straight away because they find it can sort of change the way they're playing. We saw last night both batters were set in Owen and Hope, and they were happy to continue going about their way. So Willoughby's driving out to deep point there.
Yeah, I guess it also depends on when, like whether you're setting or chasing as well. You know, probably going about keeping up the run. I didn't watch much of the game yesterday, but if you're keeping up with the run rate, the surge can actually bring about some change at whether wickets or just slow the momentum sometimes, so or change the momentum. So if you're chasing, yeah, sometimes you you want to take it as late as possible.
Yeah, and you rarely win a game with a surge, but often it can be something that can contribute to losing the game. You can lose a lot of momentum.
Comes in here, full, worked off the pads there for a single out to deep square.
Yeah, definitely a momentum changer. You can either lose momentum if you've got it going into it, or you can you just need something to kickstart your batting innings again.
We saw with the WBBL, Clive, that you guys probably use the surge straight away most times. Was that a conscious decision by you guys, or are you sort of leaving it up to the batting group to make that decision?
Yeah, I think some of the stats that suggested that's when the surge was. As Hope comes in. Oh,
That's
well
a good
done.
take from the keeper.
Great take by Roberts there. Some of the stats suggest that when the surge is taken in the 13th, 12th, 13th, 14th over, it's the highest economy in the surge, and it makes sense, right? Because you probably your in batters are probably in at that stage, or your top order batters are in more. I'm not sure what the stats would be for the men's T20, but certainly in the female game, it made a big difference in kickstarting some players' innings. Having the fielders up.
10 overs in here. We're 2 for 66 with Sean Willis on 27 and Tommy Willoughby on 29. Might look to take the game off and try and accelerate a little bit now with two pretty set batters. So again, Conwiak continues. Great wicket and a good celebration too there by young Christian. You love to see it.
We absolutely love that one. Geez, that's an important breakthrough for the Lions there, as we see Willis departing for 27. A well-compiled innings, a bit of an anchor roll there, but unfortunately for the Sharks, he is now walking back, and we see Harry Nichols striding out to the crease. That is a man on a mission. He is past Sean Willis. He is inside. Sean Willis had not even left the inner circle, and Harry Nichols was out there.
Oh, wants to take the game on, doesn't he? It's a real message of intent that Harry's straight to the wicket as well. No chat with Tom Willoughby. Got his mark.
Man has a job to do. And for the Sharks, I think there's no better man for this job. He's a busy player. He'll look to get off strike early, but he's also a skillful player that can play 360 degrees. So as a bowler, you really need to be deliberate with your plan and where you're bowling, because Harry can hit the same ball to 4 different spots, and he'll be really cheeky and get under your skin and really just annoy a bowler because they think they've bowled a good ball and he's hit it to an obscure place. So club cricketers who can do that, they can be very dangerous.
Absolutely, and a very good player spin too because of that 360 play that he's got.
There's Christian. Lucky there. Well fielded at cover. And as a pathways coach, Harry does work with a lot of the young players. Will he work with Christian a little bit, and there could be some mind games there?
I'm unsure whether Christian was in the pathway over the last couple of years. He was when I was working there when he was very young, yeah, he was just a real raw cricketer. Christian just ran in and bowled fast, left arm. We sprayed him a little bit, but he certainly smacked the ball, hit the ball harder than anyone.
The leg side there for a single.
Yeah, Harry, a good player of off the back foot, which you see rarely in grade cricket. I think a lot of players are good front foot cricketers, but Harry's a good back foot cricketer. So Interesting to see how he plays this out with Tommy Willoughby, because yeah, I don't know whether there's who's batting next. Who's coming in after Harry?
3 for 67 here. It's a good, smart, quick single there from Willoughby, getting off strike.
Clive, you mentioned about Harry being a pathways coach, and obviously his involvement in cricket has skyrocketed since becoming a coach. He's always been a very invested club person with the Sharks. He's coached them in previous years, and he's been one of their club stalwarts. But now that he's also coaching outside of his club cricket commitments, how do you think that's helped or may have hurt his form and his game this season, as we see left armour coming in again to Nichols, and he's pulling behind square. It's a great shot.
Just to come back for a second. Good arm out there by
Well
Louis
fielded.
Smith.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm making an assumption here, but knowing Harry's personality, I think he was a very studious cricketer when he played, and he worked so hard in his game, trained very hard as well. And I think in the pathway, working in the pathway, you've got to put so many hours in. And I know him and Harry Allenby as well put so many hours into coaching these kids, even one-on-one training. So I think
Steps across his stumps there for a single.
I think that would help Harry's game, because he doesn't. He probably has to manage his time a little bit now. He doesn't get to hit as many balls as he would like, even though I see him sneaking into the indoor centre and facing the middle in every couple of days or so. But I think it's helped his game as well. I think it's also cool having a pathways coach playing the game and actually playing against some of the kids that he's coaching. So not only can he give feedback to players as they're going from what he's seen, but also what he's faced, and make good good conversation with players around. Hey, on the weekend you did this, here's another option for you, or this is what I'm seeing. So
Yeah, I think it's a valuable asset, someone like Harry, who's so invested in the club cricket side of things, but also the care he takes with harvesting the talents coming up in Tasmania. Someone like him is perfect, who, as you said, can keep an eye on them on the weekend, but then also can offer them some tutorage during the week. And I think I've just made a word up there. But as we see the young leg spinner to the crease for the first time, that is a genuine wicket-taking ball. And there's a misfield out there by Zach Fair. Willoughby's come back for a second. Good running. Well done.
It's Tom Chapman here coming into bowl. First one's a bit of a loosener.
It's always a good feeling as a leg spinner, dropping the first one short, nearly making it a double bounce, and then you can overcorrect and bowl away start fully. Yeah.
Chapman. That's better. This is better.
Great recovery. Yeah, geez, it can just set the nerves off big time. If that first one gets stuck in the hand, my goodness, you're just guessing where the next one's going to go. That's why I gave it up. Shocking.
Short one again.
yeah, not the worst option here, going short into the big boundary. Tommy, banking on him, getting a little bit greedy and trying to get too much for it.
Willoughby's going to have to create a lot of pace for himself, which, being a smaller person with, as we've seen, he's going to have to try and really swing hard, which often can create a bit of a mishit and can make another wicket breakthrough for Uni.
So see the field now, they got the short fine and then the three out on the leg side. Do you think there's a chance that Harry might step across his stumps here and really try and use that short boundary?
Yeah, I think he'll use both sides of the wicket. He'll move both ways. And as I said earlier, I think he'll just really try and be busy and just face as few balls as he can. Yeah,
for watching those first few balls from Tom, I don't think Harry needs to create too much.
Oh, he's missed out there. Come through for a single.
I think he's going to get a ball or two that he can hit to the short boundary, I reckon, off the back foot like that. And to get himself into his innings. And then I think, from then on, he can target the short boundary. Again, good having a left-hand, right-hand combination in at the moment.
Yeah, Harry will be filthy with himself there, missing a short one. I do have some inside information from crossing paths in the physio room this week that Harry may be nursing a slight hamstring niggle. Oh, no. So when a boundary opportunity presents itself, he'll want to be making the most of it when it comes. As we see Willoughby hitting into the leg side out here to Jake Doran.
Yeah, I bumped into Param as well in the car park, and he said he's nursing a little bit of a back issue as well. So there's a few little niggles out there.
Some wounded sharks, some wounded lions.
3 for 75 here after 12 overs. Seems to be a pretty decent crowd. There's a splattering of fans in the Ponting stand there, and then a few on the hill. A couple of kids playing cricket out there. Love to see it. Where else would you rather be on a Sunday before Christmas, right?
Sun's out. It's beautiful.
Listening to our stream.
Yeah, exactly.
Christian Yankowiak to continue here. Single, they may look for 2 on that short side. Pretty content with the single.
There's only 3 half reasons why I could say that people wouldn't be here today. 1, in the garden mowing the lawn. I can say that's okay. You've got to make the most of the sun and keeping the lawn under control in these growing months of the year. 2, on the golf course.
Yep,
but I mean, surely you're getting your work done early. Get out there early, and you can spend your afternoon here at the cricket. 3, at the beach, catching some waves. But
Nichols, good use of the feet there as it goes over mid-off for 4. Definitely right. He's looking to be rather proactive there, using his feet to get to that one.
Yeah, smart cricketer, knows he understands the length that he's trying to bowl with this field, so knows he's going to try to hit hard length, top of the stumps, so uses his feet down the wicket to get closer to the ball, closer to the pitch of it, and gave himself a little bit of room too.
Taking off stump now as well, on leg, sorry. From Yankowiak. Feet again.
Oh,
gee, that's well backed up from the keeper there. Could have easily been 4 overthrows. Good intent from the youngster though, not scared to throw the stumps back at the bowler. Not scared of it at all.
Oh, he's done well there.
see Nichols making the adjustment there. He's very deliberate with what he does. You see him changing guard there. You can see there's obviously a pocket that he wants to hit. He can see that mid-on's up and there's a huge chunk of grass behind mid-on, and deep mid-wicket is quite square too. He's going to look to try and take it over mid-on here. See him creating that room, but it's well bowled by the lefty.
It's a good adjustment from Christian, just pulling his length back a little bit here. Knowing that Harry wants to access straight down the ground and over the offside.
So the batter's having a chat here. What are they likely to be talking about, Mac?
I'd love if it was Willoughby providing some coaching back to the coach, which I think Harry would be absolutely fuming.
I have a feeling that's what it was. I think Tom was just saying, just settle down, mate.
Come on, Harry, just chill.
Bit of footwork there. Running the first one hard. Good call. Gone for 2.
I think that was there was an example there, Mac, of what you were saying earlier, of someone getting too caught up in the short side, or one pocket of the ground. Harry looking offside over cover and mid-off for the first 3 balls and got 1. Bowler adjusting a little bit. And then maybe Tommy's just said, hey, don't forget about the leg side there. We can get some 2s there.
3 for 82 here's the last ball in the 12th over. It's wide.
Yeah, it's a great point you make there, Clive. As you see, the last 2 balls, he's just stood still. Often, if you do less and hit the ball where it needs to go, you can be a lot more effective that way than trying to manufacture something different every ball. We see Nichols is going to try and be busy off this last ball of the over, but I think he'd also like if it was just a 1, because it gives him the strike to the short boundary the next over.
Absolutely.
Will it be 36 not out down the other end? Christian comes in. Just another wild one. Unlucky here for Christian. It's been a pretty good spell for him here. 1 for 21 off his nearly 3 overs. He's been good.
Yeah, there's not a lot of swing out there either. Left armer coming over the wicket. He's going to give you a width ball that you can hit through the offside. I think he made the proactive option really early in the over, Harry, which was awesome, and got his runs. And then I think you can play the rest of the over out pretty easily.
Just an easy single there, and as you say, Harry keeping the strike here. So you've got 2 left from Smith, 1 from Hope, 2 from Apol, and 2 from Dooley. So you got your strike bowlers to bowl this last 7 overs here. Can't really see Chapman bowling another one, even though it only went for 5.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not unsure. Tommy Chapman's more of a batter, isn't he?
Yeah, he's listed to the opening, I think.
Yeah, so yeah, I would have liked to see young Jericho bowling over, but looks like they're taking the surge.
Giving the ball straight to Paddy Dooley. He's the sort of guy that wants to be bowling in the surge, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's done a lot of practice on being prepared for these overs. I think with the Hurricanes, they've thrown the ball to him, but he wants to take it upon himself to really dry things up in the surge. So he's going to have a plan, but Harry Nichols, I think, is a great person to have on strike with this because he's got options. He can hit the ball to strange places. He'll give himself room. He'll move across the crease, and he'll try and invent something, which it could lead to his downfall, could provide a wicket for Uni, or this could be quite a fruitful over for the Sharks.
Yeah, he can reverse sweep, he reverse laps, he can lap. So the reverse sweep is certainly on, or the switch hit.
Just ball the surge here, 3 for 85. Dooley steps across his stumps. I think it's outside the line there, Paddy. Just with that field there for Nichols, they had 2 well behind square on the leg side. Is that as a bit of a ploy to stop that sweep shot, which is definitely a strength of his?
Yeah, I think so. He's not going to give him a whole heap to get underneath. He's going to try and jam up his swing, so it's going to be quite hard to lift over that backward leg side. He's going to try and force them to hit out to the straighter deep leg side fielders.
Dooley hit. Well flying up. Oh, it's unlucky. It's gone fine. It's racing away. Fielder chases. That's 4. Very timely.
He hasn't done much wrong there, has he?
Nailed that Yorker.
Oh, yeah.
Is this something that Dools has been working on around the surge and becoming an option in the surge for the Hurricanes?
Yeah, I think so. There's that execution of that Yorker as he's nailed perfectly there, and he's been unlucky, but also different balls, not just relying on one ball, because if you can't execute that ball, then what do you go to then?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to bowl that length, I think, and slow it up into Tommy and go nice and a little bit slower and straighter to him and tempt him on the leg side. You've got 2 out there, and it's quite a big boundary as well. So I think you can take that option to Tommy Willoughby, take the pace out of it, and be a little bit brave in the surge. Take a wicket, it could make your second surge over a lot better.
Dooley. Taking the stumps again. Single to mid-off. And it's good for Paddy as well, right? Twofold. Jeff gets to see him bowl in the surge during Hurricane season, whilst not everyone gets this opportunity to be playing cricket. And then it's obviously great for him to be playing cricket during a time where if you're on a BBL franchise, you might not be playing a lot of cricket. So to have opportunities to be playing in this environment with such high stakes as well for club cricket, it's a great result for Paddy. Easy catch there. Nichols looking to go over cover, and I think it's Pal there that takes the catch.
Another big celebration there from Dooley. He's pumped with that one. A wicket in the surge will feel very good for him. Nichols has been unlucky to scoop it that far, getting the ball off the toe end of the bat, but unfortunately it's led to his downfall.
Yeah, you look to see that wide Yorker again. It was probably that length, and that's why Nichols has tried to get forward and sort of lift that one over the offside.
Yeah, it looked like a low fully. I don't know whether Nichols knew he was going to get that on the full or whether he was just trying to go through cover, but yeah, kind of, you don't really see that very often, like a low fully out there off the toe of the bat carrying to cover that far. So Dooley doing well in the first surge over and got a wicket for the Uni boys, which I think they need. And taking wickets in the surge is so important. It can stem the run flow, and it can actually make that second surge over less threatening.
I think a positive here for the Sharks is that they now have 2 lefties at the crease, and we know that the next over will be able to favour the lefties hitting to that short boundary as well. So they could look to just go for a really big over. They do have wickets in hand, which has been key for them. So they could make use of the next over.
Caleb Oakes, the next batsman here 4 for 91. Last ball of the first over of the surge. Dooley, wider one off the bat. Back for a second. Just a single there.
Leg bias.
Leg bias. Pretty good surge over that. 7 off and the wicket. You're probably taking that as a bowling side, aren't you, Clive?
Absolutely, absolutely. Young Louis Smith, she got the second surge over. See him with the ball.
A lot of faith in the youngster here. They obviously really rate him as a prospect when you're giving him the toughest overs in the game with the set batter of Willoughby, and then also that short boundary too with the lefties.
Yeah, absolutely. And not a bad option here too. The new batter facing the first ball of the surge. Interesting to see here what Caleb does. Does he have a crack at taking the short boundary on, or does he get himself into his innings and just get Tommy on strike and try to play out these last 6 overs of the game?
Cut at a start there. Oakes does a good job to get off strike there. Get the in batter on strike.
Looked like a bit of a back of the hand Panther style delivery, I think, from Louis. Good skills. He's developed a bit of an arsenal of a few different tools he can go to, which I think that just shows the progression of him as a player. Having different options he can throw to, as we see him coming in to Willoughby. Plays off his legs into the leg side for another single. Uni will be very happy with the start of this surge. That it's only yielded nine runs is it so far and a wicket. So if you're looking at who it's been more successful for, you'd definitely be saying Uni at the moment.
4 for 94. 2 balls into this second over of the surge. Good target from here. Probably around that 140 mark again. Smith. One there.
Yeah, I think I still think 150 is on the cards here in the last 6 overs. Caleb can hit a long ball as well, and Tommy's in and batting beautifully. 42 off 36 balls here. So with a short boundary in play, you know they still can get 60 on that in that last, or 50 off the last 5 overs.
I think the key is Willoughby being there at the end though. If you're having 2 fresh batters from either end, it can be really tough to make getting those 10 plus overs. As we see Oakes digging one out there into the offside for another single. But yeah, I think Willoughby is the key. If he's there at the end, and then you've got some bigger hitters, you've got Oakes there at the crease now. You've also got Cadence Kwepper, who can hit a handy ball. He can hit a strange ball to different spots. You've also got Gabe Bell, who can hit a long ball.
Archie Baggs-Smith as well.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I think Willoughby, he's a smart player. He's played a lot of first grade now, and I think he will know if he's got a ball there he can score off, or if he can just keep getting off strike. As he's chopping down on that one. Dot ball, well bowled Louis Smith.
It's been a nice tidy over here from Louis, but also looks like Sandy Bay are happy just burning this surge over. They're not getting too greedy with it. Happy to get 6 off the over and then reassess and start a new partnership with Caleb.
I think just by what you said before, Mac, just around the surge can obviously lose your game, but can also not really win your game. So you think that Sandy Bay are probably taking the good option here by not really going too hard? That's a beautiful shot through the offside there. I think that's Jake Doran on the chase. It's 4 runs. Lovely shot there by Willoughby.
Yeah, I just think you've just got to limit your damage. You can establish, look, it hasn't been our best surge, but it could always be a lot worse. So we see very handy boundary there from Willoughby. He's just played a good cricket shot. It was wide outside the off stump, and he's just hit it to where it needs to go. He didn't take any risk, and he's just put it away. I think Louis Smith will be a bit disappointed with the width he's provided for that ball.
15 off the surge so far. Smith final ball. It's a little high, Louis.
I think it's a better line there from Louis. I think sometimes as batters we can get caught up in the short boundary, but then it looks like as a bowler, getting caught up in the short boundary and trying to keep it away from the short boundary, and went wide those last few deliveries, but didn't quite have the field for it either. So he sort of, he could have actually gone wide and dropped his point potentially and gone split field. and it would have given him 2 options. He could have gone at the stumps too if he wanted to go to the leg side, or if you wanted to go wide, you can go wide too. So I don't know whether he missed wide or if he was trying to go wide because he was worried about the short boundary.
Yeah.
But then you can see where he attacked the stumps in the game.
We saw Willoughby struck on the pads once more, both feet in the air. It's quite a skill. It's entertaining to watch that, and it can also deceive the umpire. It can make him feel like it's a lot higher than what it actually was.
It's a great ploy.
Yeah, might have to use that.
For his third over here.
When I got hit on the pads, it's rarely ever going over because I am a midget.
You need to start jumping.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's onto something there. So we see Pile back into the attack, bowling to 2 lefties. He'll enjoy this with their hitting to the big boundary as well.
Single, they may look for 2 here. Yeah, it's good running. Oh, direct hit, and that might have been very close there. We just need to see the replay of that one just to see how close it was. But good running by Willoughby there to come back for the second.
It's great fielding by Tim Ward there from long on. Moves around the ball really nicely, and quick release, hard throw at the stump. Just missed.
Oh. Lucky. Bit of an edge there.
Yeah, I think for Uni, that they have their 2 most experienced players, Tim Ward and Jake Doran, at the long on and deep mid-wicket pockets. I think they can use their experience here and be brave and be even closer and stop that too. I think as we see Oakes back cutting.
Oh, it's a great effort on a boundary there. +2.
Yeah, so I think they can be brave and come an extra 5 metres in from the ring and make sure that they're not getting a 2. I think like once you get into the final 2 or 3 overs, then you can sit back and stop that boundary. But they're athletic blokes. They should be able to chop off these 2s.
Louis Smith on the boundary there before with that great save for boundary.
Yeah, it looked like it was a bit, hurt him a little bit. It's not a great sliding ground, these sand-based grounds. It's definitely a rolling ground, not a sliding one. But he's done a good job there to save that.
The Velcro grass.
It is.
Do you only do that once, or does it take you a couple of times to realise that you don't slide?
Looks very close.
With a big wicket there of Willoughby, who hit the pass for 46. Great innings. He'll be disappointed not to be there at the end for the Sharks here with just a little bit over 4 overs to go, but he's batted well today, hasn't he?
He's done a great job, Willoughby. He'll be absolutely fuming that he couldn't be there at the end, and that's a big moment, I think, for Uni. They're removing the set batter who won't be there for the final 4 overs. I think now they have a really big chance to restrict this total and give their batters a much lower score to chase.
Yeah, disappointing there for Willoughby. I know he'd be disappointed. What he was doing so well was actually hitting that ball into the mid-wicket gap, and I think he tried to go a little bit square with that, or Param beat him and it slid on a little bit more than he expected. But what a great innings by Tommy Willoughby, and he's given the Sharks a nice platform now to launch.
It's just the Uni's big player standing up once more, as he's done all season. Paramupal taking the breakthrough, using his skills, just very cagey, just getting something off the wicket, getting one to skid through a little bit, and he's invaluable for him.
Yeah, plays around with the seam a little bit, go over the top of the ball, try to get a bit more drop and spin and bounce, and then he'll go underneath it. That one there, potentially underneath the ball, hit the shiny side and slid on into the pad. So excellent work and a nice little breakthrough there again for Uni.
Louis Smith to continue here. 5 for 105. Oh, no, that's Brad Hope down there, sorry.
It's fast moving there by Doran.
Hustling out there from Doran.
What words you'd usually put with Jake Doran, is it?
He's got it in him. He's got it in him. I hear he's on the whoop train of late. So he's been tracking some recovery and those different metrics, which Jake Doran is someone who invests in those things. He's always interested.
Hope. Pull up.
Yeah, it's right up Jake Doran's alley, that, I reckon.
Yeah, loves the tech.
Yeah.
He's created a few apps as well, Jake Doran. Very good with the computer in hand. He's good with all different software and website design. And now on the whoop.
There's a few other Tigers boys that are also using the weapon, aren't they?
I think they're in a bit of a group. They can actually track how each other are going.
So, another single there.
Get into Archie Banks-Smith in.
How much about Archie Clive?
No, not a lot. Apart from I think he umpired a few indoor cricket games down at the cricket hub. I played there, and works for Mark Diven over there. But no, not much for Archie. Another left-hander though.
Plenty of them in the lineup. Comes in. Takes the stumps. It's another single. Got by the keeper there. I think if you're Uni, you're probably happy to give up the singles now, aren't you?
Yeah, singles a win. If they can limit the amount of boundaries in these last 3.2 overs, I think that's key for them. Brad Hope, their experienced bowler, he's going to bowl balls. It's just going to be very tough to score boundaries off. So as we see Hope coming in once more.
5 for 109. Down the leg side.
It's wide ball. Yeah. Don't know whether he thinks it's come off his pad.
Maybe stepped across.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. Yeah. I'm giving that wide, I think. Just missed his pad, but
19 balls
hope
left.
he's got away with that one.
I don't think that is Wade, by the way. I caught a closer glimpse at his facial there. That's not a Wade cut. Wade usually rocks a strong moustache.
Single there out to the offside. 3 overs left here. 5 for 110. Banks-Smith on 2. Oakes on 10.
It's not Darren, is it?
That's more of a Darren cut.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think it's a Darren. Very similar facial hair. But it's pretty tough to tell. We're a fair way from the action here. I reckon we're a good 120 metres away from him.
Open the window and yell out, I reckon, mate.
He's getting close to Christmas. Might have got a clean shave. Just
Yeah.
Umpire's name.
Just sharpening up for Christmas lunch. Umpire's name.
Graham coming in here. Lucky there, he's got all of that. Out to Doran. Deep mid-wicket. 5 for 111. 17 balls left here. You want to be going at least a run of ball. If you're the Sharks, 135, 140 would be a great result for them from here. Might look to go 2 here. Oakes comes back. Good fielding by Ward.
Good running as well by Sammy Bow there.
It's a great athlete, Ward. You see his long locks moving in the air, reflecting how quick he is covering the surface there. He's thrown that off balance and thrown it straight to the stumps for Paramapal to grab. But unfortunately, Param just took a little bit too much there with his own hand, which allowed them to come back for 2.
Shot. They might look for 2 here. Oakes going to come back again. It's great running. It's a long boundary out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like quite hard to defend. Quite a big ground, some big pockets straight as well. Not getting too greedy here, these 2 boys, and happy getting their 2s, which should help get that total of 140, 150.
One. Another single out to the offside. Got 1 over left for Dooley and 1 for Smith. Imagine that Dooley's probably bowling the next and Smith would finish.
Yeah, but I could also see Dooley,
Yeah.
if the 2 lefties are still in, he could bowl from his same end that Opal's bowling from, spinning back into their pads.
Yep.
I think the lefties are doing a good job here establishing it's the big boundary and just you can maximise your 2s. You can really accumulate a nice over that way.
Wants to get that one fine. It's got through. I'll try and come back again. No, just a single out.
Oakes might be gassed here, I reckon. Looks warm out there. He's got the long sleever on and he's already run a few 2s. I reckon he just wants a little breather here.
7 off the over so far.
Yes, spend his tickets to the short boundary, I reckon.
5 for 117. Let's get that one fine. No run. Oakes keeps the strike.
Not to finish the over. Not bad. Param finishes his 4 overs for 28, 1 for 28. Hope he's finished his 4 overs, 4 for, no wickets for 26.
You guys were right here. There's a reason why you guys are the professional cricketers and I'm the media manager. Louis Smith here is bowling from the same end that he's bowled his 3 overs from before.
12 balls left. 140, looking like a good number here, I reckon.
Yeah, is it, well, being inside here, but is it windy out there? Is wind play a little bit of a factor here?
No, it didn't look like it this morning. I think it should be okay. Hit the trees. Oh, unlucky.
No, happy. Good one.
How full was that? Nearly no ball.
Yeah,
Must
Sam
have been
just
close.
gesturing that it was below the waist.
They can be very hard at times, can't they, Clive, those full tosses? It's just not where your eyes are. Your eyes are tracking the ball down at the wicket, and when it's coming straight at you,
Yeah.
you often don't pick it up, and you can
No, it wasn't-
often
yeah.
just mishit it or even edge it and
Yeah.
get out from what seems like a pretty poor ball.
Yeah, it definitely it takes you by surprise, especially if you're looking for a step hit. It hits you a little bit high on the bat.
We saw last night with Ben McDermott where he got that full toss that was around his ears in that last over, which gave a free hit to Mitch. Have you ever had a free hit to bring up 100, Mac?
No, I mean, sometimes if you're brave, you can just give yourself a free hit. It doesn't have to be deemed by the umpire a free hit, but it was lucky that Mitch Owen, that Ben McDermott's shot only went for 1. It's well bowled.
Maybe just outside of the blue line there, but I felt like Hank Smith gave himself some room there, so...
Louis showing some good skills here. You know, missed that wide, but good length for a wide Yorker. Ball, you know, slower ball, second ball. So he's showing his full range of skills, T20 skills here, which is good.
I think this score too, I think it could be a reflection of either not having a set batter in or the wicket slowing up and that ball getting soft. You see nice leg glance by Hank Smith in a leg slide. Yeah, I think we spoke about 150, 160 being a good score. Now it's looking like if they can get to 140, that'd be great. I think this ball would be quite chewed up now, and the wicket, it's quite tired. So it's going to be interesting to see if Uni can keep a set batter, which will make chasing that total a bit easier, or if maybe batting first may have been a better decision. We'll have to wait and see.
Oak's facing up, goes after one, a little wide there.
Do you think that that Tommy, when that partnership with Tommy and Shawnee, they could have taken those risks a little bit earlier, or do you think they built a good partnership there and just Shawn just getting out at the wrong time?
Possibly. I mean, it just depends how they were feeling. Like, I think it's a discussion you need to have with your partner out there. If someone's feeling good, be the one to take the game on and be brave, because it can pay dividends.
Yep.
If you be conservative and don't take that opportunity, then one gets dismissed. You've really sort of missed your shot to win the game.
Smith. It's a good shot. He's cashed in there to a ball that's probably deserved to go to the boundary.
Yeah, just overcorrecting there a little bit, Louis. But I do like his skills here. He's keeping the batter guessing. He's not letting them get a rhythm on him. He's going wide. He's going full and straight. He's going slower balls. So every now and then you're going to miss. But I do like his options that he's taking here.
Yeah, we just saw a close up of the ball there when it hit the boundary. It did look very chewed up. So that's a good shout by you there, Mac.
Yeah, he's taking the total of 5 for 125 now with 2 balls left in this over.
Oh, it's unlucky. Gee,
Back-to-back boundaries for the Sharks. That's very handy.
Who'd be a bowler?
Batter's
Inside
game.
edge for 4.
Batter's game.
1 bad ball, that goes for 4, and then the next one's still a pretty good ball, and that goes for 4 too.
Clive, I think something we spoke about with the evolution of Paddy Dooley, having those options for if your main ball you're going to isn't quite on, you've got another option. I think where Louis could benefit here is he's gone for his wide chalk. He's missed it a few times. It's been a wide. What's his next option? We've seen the last 2 balls go because he's gone back straighter and maybe hasn't had that reliable second option.
Yep.
Smith. Fielded.
Again, he's probably lucky that's only gone for 1. He's gone slow and straight
Yeah,
to a short boundary.
Look, the backhanded panther there from Louis. Yeah, it's a little bit of experience there, isn't it? I think gone are the days you can run in and bowl 6 Yorkers. I don't think that works anymore. I think batters are getting so good at being able to go, right, if you're bowling Yorkers, I'm going deeper in my crease, I can slice it over point, I can ramp you, or I'm going to come at you and I'm going to get a bit more on the full and hit you over mid-wicket. So you need some different options. You need to find a way to break batters' rhythms, because when batters are on, as you know, it's so hard to bowl to them. So you need to find a way to just get them off strike or change your line, change your pace. All those options you need to have now in T20 cricket.
They only need to miss by a couple of inches, and that's enough for the batters these days. We saw
Exactly.
last night Ellis displaying some world-class skills, but there's a lot of nights when that doesn't quite come off. So,
Dooley, 5 for 130. Great use of the feet there by Oakes. Maybe just get there for 2. Pretty timely innings here by Oakes. He's moved to 23 now off 19 balls. He's started a little slow, but he's really come into it, hasn't he?
he's played a little gem of an innings. He's accelerated beautifully at the back end here, and also he's made sure that he's on strike most of the time, which is so important.
Dooley, 5 balls remaining in the innings, 5 for 132. He's in the crease. Just one bounce out to Tim Ward there at long on. Taking the single. Banks Smith now on strike. This is where Dooley maybe excels a little bit with the less experienced batsman down the other end.
Yeah, I'm throwing this next ball up
Greedy.
Take the pin out of it.
to the long boundary. Go for it.
Dooley. Oh, good effort there by Banks Smith. Looked like he might have been in some trouble there when he used his feet through the offside.
Particularly to the lower order batters, or batters that haven't got a lot of power, potentially haven't, like they want pace on the ball. So if Dooley goes to his fast Yorker and misses, that's probably the ball that they want and they can hit. Whereas if he goes a bit slower into the wicket, get him to hit out to the big boundary there, probably less likely to go for a boundary.
Dooley, 3 balls remaining. Let's be quick in that one. It was fine. Oakes is definitely going to want to come back for 2 here.
It's a good throw.
Not out. It's a great
Excellent throw. Zach Fair out there, deep backward square.
I think you can really do too much more as a fielder there. That was right over the top of the stumps, exactly what you want as a keeper.
Can see Fair also, and the other leg side fielders, they've taken a few extra step backs protecting that boundary. So it's going to be inevitable that there's going to be some twos. Again, you can choose to take the game on and be brave. If, say, Banks Smith's on strike, you can maybe come in a few and... actually, no, sorry, I'll take that back, because a 2 keeps him on strike, which I think they'd probably prefer bowling to him at this stage.
Dooley. There goes the test. They're going to try and come back for 2 again.
It's going to be another 2.
It's another good throw. Unlucky.
Yeah, what do you do in this space here, Mac? Last couple of balls, the last ball of the over. Do you, as a mid-wicket long on fielders, do you guys come up in this space, or are you happy with, you know what, we'll take the draw, which is a 2?
I think you've probably got to take that conservative option, but also you can establish that this ball is so chewed up and the wicket's quite slow now that it's going to be hard to beat those guys out there, because you just can't hit it hard enough.
It's good skills there by Dool. Saw him move across and followed him as well. So good finish. I think Sandy Bay finished the innings pretty well there. Maybe might be able to take a little bit of momentum into their bowling innings here.
It's 5 for 139 at the end of their 20 overs. Louis Smith, 2 for 33. Brahma Pal, 1 for 28. Paddy Dooley, 1 for 23 off his 4. And then Christian Yankonwiak, 1 for 22 off his 3 as well. So do we think 140 is a pretty tough score to chase, or is that about par? What are your thoughts, Chance?
Personally, I think it's just under par. I think you've seen how at the end here how hard it was to defend. There were so many 2s out here, so I think if Uni don't get too greedy and they don't go too boundary focused, they could get these runs if they bat smartly.
Yeah, agreed. I think the times when you see a team going par or above is when they have a batter scoring a 70 or 80 kind of mark. They bat a longer period of time, but Sandy Bay just didn't quite have that. As we run through some wickets now, we saw Dunk dismiss first ball of the innings, a horror start for the Sharks, and Voss also dismissed cheaply.
Harry Nichols there. there from Param. So just going through the Sandy Bay innings as well. So Ben Dunker-Smith for a Golden Duck, Sam Voss for 6, Willis for 27 off 30, Willoughby 46 off 40, Nichols 10 off 11, Oakes 30 off 23, and Banksmith with 9 to finish. I think we'll take a short break now, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Welcome back here for the second innings of this match here in the CTPL Wilson Holmes first grade T20 final. University chasing 140 to win with Chapman and Hope opening the batting. 140. Not quite enough runs, do we think?
Oh, I think it's, you know, I think it's just under par, I reckon. But in a grand final, you know, runs on the board always counts for something. What do you think, Matt?
A mouthful of Subway cookie, ladies and gentlemen.
Just finishing my delicious chocolate chip Subway cookie. Look, I think Uni will fancy their chances with his batting lineup. There's a lot of quality plays. I think with a score that's just under par, I reckon that they're a red hot crack here.
Willoughby attacking the stumps to start off. Surprised that the spin's gone the first ball here rather than your big bell choy.
No, I think there probably isn't going to be a lot of swing.
Oh, cracking shot by Chapman. Sounded so nice off the bat there as he works that one through. Cover and extra cover.
Yeah, good option to Tommy Willoughby. He's not a real big spinner of the ball. So Chapman just giving his stumps up and hitting through the offside there. I think with Sandy Bay knowing there's not going to be much with the new ball, I think going slow option.
Oh, rinse and repeat. Does it again.
I think his pace is just a bit slow here, Willoughby, providing too much width. That ball is just sitting up beautifully.
Cracking shot.
Yeah, and that's again, like I said about Paddy's bowling. If batters are picking your length pretty quickly, it means you're not getting a lot in the air or not getting a lot of shape in the air there. So we have a change of field here as Willoughby goes to a split field, deep backwards, deep square, and a deep cover point.
The batsman here maybe trying to adjust here. I know that you've hit 2 boundaries, you're pretty happy to comes in. Oh, it's a great shot over mid-on, right where that fielder was.
It's a lovely start there. I think Tommy's he's unfortunately missed 3 balls in a row here. He's gone too short the first 2 balls and then changed his field, brought the long on up and then overpitched the 3rd ball and got hit. But really good batting here from Chapman. Looks like he hasn't tried to create anything. He's sort of changing the field and then stood still that one and whacked it over mid-on.
You'll take 3 out of your first 4 balls out of the middle though. 1, they might look for 2 here. Kind of running into each other in the middle of the field there. Thrown in by Banks Smith.
Bloody deflating for a team, and you know, when you're defending and your first 4 balls, the team's already on 14 runs.
It's also going to make it hard for Gabe Bell to swing the ball next over. That ball's already copped a bit of a beating these first few balls. I think if Gabe Bell's any chance of swinging it, you want the ball looking nice and new. They've already had a few throws onto the square.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. You know, I think that generally in T20 cricket, I don't know if it's changed now or it's probably not getting that way, but the first over the game is probably the easiest one to bowl because batters tend to not go after you. But Chapman's proven me wrong there. And then whether it's, you know, you've got a first-class bowler on your team, whether you give him the new ball to batters that are fresh and see if he can take a couple of wickets. So not sure whether Sandy Bay have gone through this option throughout the T20 competition.
So their main strike bowler here, Gabe Bell, they're probably going to need a couple of wickets for him in this game if they're going to be a strong chance. In he comes. Wide one to start. Caden Hine just misses that one as it trickles away for 5 wides. Just sort of trailed away a little bit there. Lucky for Belly. He'd come off one of his, well, definitely his best season last year for the Tigers with, I think he was 4th in total for the entire Shield, or maybe 5th, but it was always there for him, so it was good to see that he had such a great output last year. Comes Bell.
Yeah, we've seen him spearhead the Tasmanian attack the last 2 seasons, which is great that they're giving him that opportunity. Gabe Bell's had to wait patiently in the ranks as the likes of Jackson Bird and Peter Siddle headed the bowling attack, but it's just shown the character of Gabe Bell, that he could come straight into that role and lead from the front. He did a great job, and Tassie will be looking for a strong second half of the season from him.
Bill really attacking those stumps as Hope plays straight to cover.
I think we saw that first ball. He probably just he's thrown it down leg as a bit of a bender, and it just hasn't quite swung. So he's adjusted well these last 2 balls. He's brought his line back in a bit tighter, straight at the stumps, and he'll like his chances again. Hope here. Hope is a good player. He's a well-rounded player, but like any batter, he can be vulnerable at the start of his innings.
Well, beats him for pace there.
Where's Hope been generally vulnerable? Is he a LBW candidate early in his innings, or is he an outside edge?
Both. You can miss the odd straight one, but
Yep.
I'd probably say more of a chance of an edge. I think on this wicket, unlikely, and given that the ball isn't moving around, I can't see him being at too much risk there. And I just think from the Sharks, they may just have missed their chance to strike early.
Some good bowling and good batting there.
Yeah, like looking back on it now, it's easy to talk about it hindsight, right? But got a par score, below par score on the board. I think it was a conservative option to go Willoughby, who in the first over of the game. Particularly because he's not a wicket-taking spinner. He's a defensive spinner. So
4 dot balls in a row here. Bell, another one. He'll be happy to bat the ball back there.
Yeah, you just see Hope he's been quite watchful here. I think he knows that he'll be able to catch up in this innings on a good wicket with the ball still being hard when he's out there. I think he sees Gabe Bell as the biggest threat in this Sharks lineup, so he doesn't mind having a quiet over against him. They've already had the 5 off it, and he'll just look to get through this last ball.
yeah, absolutely. I think Belly is the strike bowler for that team, and if you can keep Belly quiet, then there's some bowls that he can target from the other end.
0 for 21 here off the first 2. Obviously that first over went for 16, and this one for 5. So not go back to Willoughby here. I think this is Gilleen potentially.
Yeah, Ed Galleen has the ability to take wickets. He can be quite a challenging bowler when he's on. He comes from quite a tall height. He can get a bit of bounce on this wicket, probably not so much, but he does have the ability to bowl an absolute jaffa that can remove anyone in the comp. So the Sharks will be praying that he's on today, and it might make Gabe Bell's job as captain a bit easier, as he's going to have a fair bit to contemplate over the next few overs, how they go about taking early wickets.
Going to Chapman. Just a single out to deep square. Chapman definitely looking to attack, isn't he?
Yeah, I like. He's been proactive. He's either identified that it's just a bit of a rank ball and he can get it away, as there was a few in the first over. But then apart from that, he's just looking to play good shots, and he's had the season that is reflecting he's a good player, and he can really do something special for the Lions here today, and potentially hit a match-winning knock for them.
Going. Hope to come back for 2 here. Good arm out there.
It's good running between the wickets. Yeah, Chapman looks like he's in a good space with his batting. Like, doesn't look like he's trying to overhit the ball, playing good cricket shots, making good contact. And it sounds like he's got a very nice kookaburra bat there. it sounds beautiful.
Tough to find a bad cooker these days, Clive.
So
Very nice willow in hand.
Hashtag sponsored. Great cricket shot there. Just a single. Just looking at Chapman's stats here, he scored 100 against Newtown earlier in the year in the one-day competition. And then other than that, a few starts, but looks to be really in the zone today, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got the uni boys off to a good start. I think I'm pretty sure Sandy Bay were 2 for 28 after their power play, and uni already on 25 after 2.3 overs.
Come back for a second, just a single there. Do you think that uni maybe looked at that last couple of overs where Sandy Bay were able to get those ones and turn them into 2s when they didn't quite do that for the whole innings? Do you think they're sort of going to be looking at that and going, oh, there probably are a few more 2s out there than what Sandy Bay maybe ran for?
Yeah, I think that's part of the benefit of bowling first. You can identify things the batting team did well, but also things they could have done better. We see a beautiful
Great
pick-up here from Brad Hope off the hip. 6 runs onto the hill. It's bounced over the fence, and boy, what a shot that was.
New ball territory.
Just off the top of the stumps there, he's just picked up that length beautifully and just helped it all the way. Yeah, it looks like I think definitely some experienced batters in that Uni lineup that would have identified that and spoken about that. Particularly guys like a Tim Ward, who aren't your power hitters, but they could definitely exploit the big boundaries and get the twos.
So how many times have you cleared the hill, Mac, in your career here in Tasmania?
Oh, not too many. Tough for me, a bit smaller, but no, look, that's a beautiful shot from Hope there. He's been quite measured here at the start. He's taken a few to get the pace of the wicket, whereas Chapman looks as if he's going. He's ready to go, and I am looking down at this Uni batting lineup, seeing the likes of Tim Ward and Jake Dorr, and I think seeing what they've just seen at the start here, they'd be pretty keen to get out there. So I reckon they'd be telling Chappie, keep going, mate, hit out or get out, so they can get out there and have a crack, because it looks like good fun out there at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a long batting lineup that Uni have. I think it'd be really. I think they'll just take the game on here if Chapman can get away, even if he gets out in the 4th over, but keeps that run rate, gets that run rate under 6s. That actually makes it easier for everyone else in those middle overs. So I think that he can definitely him and Hope, he could potentially put the foot down here. It seems like they've got the Sandy Bay boys on the back foot. Nice little break here though in momentum for Sandy Bay, which they'll like as they're looking for a new ball. But yeah, that's such a strong batting lineup and some experience in there.
We just saw on the hill before, Tasmanian Tiger, Naomi Stallenberg looking for the ball.
Yeah.
Enjoying some cricket on a Sunday as they've found the ball.
Current WBBL champion with the Renegades.
It's always good to see when someone does move on, especially someone as nice as Gnomes and as good of a person as she is to do well at her new team.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's such a great cricketer as well. So it's nice to see her get those opportunities there at the Renegades. Unfortunately not with us, but she did a really good job and played an important role for them throughout the season.
Clean, none for 32. Last ball of the over here. It's a good comeback. Top ball. 32 after the first 3 overs with a target of 140. I think you're right. They're probably going to continue to try and go after it in this next over. So you're going to go one more from Gabe Bell and really try and stem that run rate a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. We see Gabe Bell going once more here. I think now's their time. If they can take a wicket, they've really got to do some early damage here, because you'd say Uni, they're going to come hard while the ball's still hard. We saw how chewed up the ball got towards the back end of Sandy Bay's innings, and it's only going to get harder to score. So if they can knock off as many as they can up the top here, then that's going to make everyone's job a lot easier, as Clive just said.
Comes Bell. Really threw his bat at that one, and that's 4. Not a bad ball.
Yeah, interesting field here, Mac. You've seen that he's got like a deep backward point, and then a player like a cover point in the ring. So I don't know whether he's going wide hole here and trying to get him to try to hit it over cover and get a catch down there. But yeah, it's interesting field.
Yeah, he's clearly got a plan. Gabe Bell's got quite an impressive white ball skill set. Although he hasn't played a heap of white ball cricket for Tassie, he does have the skills, and he's clearly got a plan. He's looking to go wide hole, but he's also got the deep square just in front as well, which gives him the chance to go into the wicket either off pace or a genuine bouncer.
Bell. Chapman looks to get after it again.
Yeah, I think underrated white ball bowler Belly. Unlucky to not get as much opportunity. I think he's been pigeonholed as a red ball bowler, but his white ball skills are excellent. He nails it. He can nail a Yorker. He's got some good slower balls. His cricket IQ's up there as well, so understands feels and where to bowl to different batters. So I'd like to see him more with the white ball in his hand for Tigers.
I think that's also partly due to his heavy load with the Shield. Tassie's relying on him to play the
the whole Shield season, which obviously as a bowler must be so tough on the body. And given that there's been considerable injuries in the bowling stocks of the Tassie squad, that he basically just has to park the white ball stuff, which I'm sure would be disappointing and frustrating for Belly, because he'd love to be a 3-format player, as he's got the skills to do. But hopefully there's a world in the future where there's a few more blokes available for selection that he can actually play both those formats.
Bell, that one fine there. He's racing to the boundary. Come back for an easy 2 there. At least he has been getting that reward though in the red ball, right? Like 40 wickets in a Shield season's an incredible effort.
Yep.
Also a new father as well.
Young Primrose.
Very exciting for him and his partner Georgie. Went and met young Primrose for the first time the other day. Very cute.
Top ball there.
Yeah, outside of cricket, he's had his hands full. Unfortunately for him, his golfing game has had to make way for the new fatherhood role. I often enjoy around with Belly, but he's been tough to get a hold of late.
Let alone the fact that he's starting to be an engineer as well.
Yep, that's it. Smart cookie. He's got a bit on the boy.
Glenn to continue for his second over here. Chapman 22 off 11 and Hope 12 off 13 with that one big 6. But that's 2 overs down from Gabe Bell and no wickets. They would have really been hoping for a wicket or 2 from the Sharks there.
Yeah, it's a nice power play done by the Uni boys there. 39 off 4 overs. Set themselves up nicely. Required run rate still 6 and over, 6.3.
Clean. Could be a catch here.
Oh,
Great catch.
Gabe Bell off out of full forward there at full stretch. Hands out in front. You're not spoiling that from
No
behind.
chance.
What a grab from Belly. He's going to line up for a set shot, I think, here, Gabe Bell. Look at this. Oh, wow. What an athlete.
Great take there. I think you guys were right about Chapman though. He was going to continue there to try and get after it a little bit more to put Uni in an even better position, but they'll be happy to get him out.
Yeah, nice little start. He's given the Uni boys a good start, Chapman. For that first over, hitting Tommy Willoughby down the ground and through the offside. But that brings in Parama Pal, who's probably the most informed player in the competition at the moment. So you'll be looking to hopefully start build a nice partnership here with Hopi and knock these runs off.
I like that from Chapman though. Like he's done his job for the team. He'll be disappointed that he doesn't get to keep hitting a few more out there, but he's got his team off to the perfect start. They've obviously got the depth in there, and now that brings a pile to the crease who can get busy. But look, I think he's showed some really impressive signs there, young Chapman, and I think he's definitely a valuable player for Uni for years to come, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. Mac, the worst case scenario there is they think, oh, yep, got off to a good start, and I'm just going to like chip it around, and then before you know it, the game gets real tight, and you're only 2 down. So you might as well try to finish the game off, and I like the intent there.
Yeah, and especially they've got their current run rate well above the required run rate. So if a bowler bowls straight at your pads to a short boundary, you've got to take it on, and if you don't execute, well, you cop that. I think the plan is pretty good.
Yep.
The second leading run taker in this 2020 competition. Start by Galen. Good looking forward defence there.
If Param is the second, who was the top leading run scorer?
Oh, Clive. Give me some warning.
Sorry.
Our stats man, Zach Bees,
Yeah.
to work.
Been a few washouts this season, haven't they, in the T20 format? So
Poor old Lindisfarne got a bit stitched up there. We would have been right in the running, but the weather had different plans for us.
Full. This is that one. To Ben Dunk there.
there's another bold nugget out there. It's Ben Dunk.
So top run scorer has been Alex Vincent from Kimberley with 187. Param second on 176. Third has been Charlie Wakeham. Alistair Taylor AT from Greater Northern, and then Shawnee Willis was fifth. So 5 very talented cricketers in that run scorer there.
Yeah, nice, Alex Vincent. Bundles from
One of
the
Knights boys.
From the Knights.
Good player, isn't he?
big smile on Clive's face. I think he might have set me up there when he asked me to mention it.
I definitely did not.
Speaking of washouts, I'm seeing some big clouds rolling in from the north here. We a chance of getting wet? Or?
Yeah, I spoke to Pratik, who's the coordinator for the Premier Cricket, and he did say there was some rain coming this afternoon.
Okay.
I think around 4:30, but I did have a look on Apple Maps, Apple Weather, very quickly, which I know I shouldn't be doing, but didn't seem to be any rain there. But we'll have to get the bomb up at some point.
Well, hopefully it stays away. One for the cricket too, because I'm getting the mower out this over. I need to get the grass down before my dad rocks up tomorrow, as we see Gulleen overstepping there.
No.
So you're going to the beach later as well, and you've already played around this morning, one of those 3 things?
Yes, I've already ticked off 2.
Yeah.
Now I've got to complete the third, the trifecta. And I mean, hey, getting to enjoy some cricket too. It's a pretty nice Sunday.
That's great.
Pretty good Sunday planned.
So free hit here. What do you think Gulleen's going to look to do?
I think he's going to go wide, or potentially wide, this field, but...
Big catch. Dunk on the boundary here.
Geez, the ball went so high they were able to run 2.
Yeah. In some ways, almost a good thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it can be tough when the ball's just hanging up there as a fielder. Like, come down already. Why is it hanging up there forever?
Yeah.
It's a big hot air balloon just
Hit that,
staying up
with one hand as well.
there. He's got good hands, Brad Hope. He's got a hockey background, so he's got a bit of a slap and snap in his wrist. So he can, if the ball's not quite there, the length, he can still create power.
There is some of that power out to deep square. 1 for 46 now, Uni, after 5.
And this is, I think, 2 experienced batters playing here, but like watching that shot from Hopi, they're both still looking at that short boundary, and when they get their ball, they're going to go for it. They're not going to try to create it. If they get their ball, it's at the length of the line that they want. I think they're going to target that short boundary, whereas I think Sandy Bay didn't take that risk early enough, or didn't take those balls on. I think so. Tommy Willoughby walked across and got 1 for 6 on the leg side, but other than that, they got some balls that were straight on the stumps, but didn't take that risk.
That's spot on, yeah. The game rewards those who are brave, but also it's a lot easier to be brave in a side like Uni when you've got first-class cricketers coming in behind you. For Sandy Bay, they may not have had the stock there that they can afford to take that risk. So it's just a gamble. It's the game we play, and some days that can come off, and other days the other team's just simply too good.
Yeah, and also it might be the type of cricket they've played. Both these teams have made the grand final, and they might be played a different brand of cricket, that conservative or that brand of cricket that Sandy Bay played probably wins them more games than loses. But Uni playing a bit more aggressively.
We see the leggy come in, Cooper.
Misfield there from Bell.
Bell's hand still ringing from that screaming mark he took out in the outfield.
Out in front.
Yep.
So Cadence Quepper with the ball in hand.
Can be quite a challenging bowler to face, Quepper. He can spin it both ways. He has a bit of an unorthodox action, and which creates quite a severe angle in at the right-hander. It's like a wrong in there into the leg side.
Yeah, Quepsy bowl a little bit unconventional leg spinner. Doesn't quite flick it out with his ring finger. He probably bowls him more with his point finger and middle finger, and he bowls him like sort of about the back of the hand, so he can bowl him quite fast.
Good cricket, that. Single out to.
And when he's on, can drift them big into the right-handers and slide them into the pad. So I think he'll just look to attack the stumps here as much as possible, and try to collect the pad on the way.
Comes.
It's a nice shape in the air there for Quepper. Good signs. He does give it a rip. That ball's drifting in nicely, and he's getting a bit of spin. You see him now rocking a bit more of a sharper haircut these days. I remember he did just have a bit longer hair when he was a bit younger. Now he's just sharpened things up a bit.
Started nicely.
A little bit slower. Misfield there.
Nichols not happy with that one.
I do know I am referencing a lot of haircuts today, but this is T20 cricket after all, and that is the game for rocking a very sharp haircut. That, and nowadays, jewellery. We saw the Hurricanes last night, or the Hurricanes, as they're calling themselves. Haircuts and jewellery. That's the modern game.
So Quappen's nearly taken 20 wickets for this season, so a pretty good result.
So wickets, haircut, and now maybe we just get him some jewellery.
Yeah,
He'll be good
away.
to go. Be doing the world circuit.
Needs to have a chat to Peter Hatzoglu, I think.
Yep.
1 for 52 here after 6 overs.
Looks like a change of bowling here as well. Left armour, Bank Smith coming on to bowl.
Moves the ball through the air fairly nicely. Not the fastest of bowlers, but we'll look to do a little bit potentially. Probably not at this point now with the ball a little older, but pace off, I would have thought. The keeper threw up to the stumps.
Yep, looks like he's going to come around the wicket here, just attack the stumps a little bit. I'm not too sure to the short boundary whether Param will take it on or whether Param will be the one to try to bat through and hope he take the game on. But what do you think, Mac?
Well, it's interesting. The coming around the wicket, that's an angle that will allow Param to hit to that leg side. Him being a left armour, if he bowled over the wicket, he basically could take the leg side out of the game. So that points to the fact that, okay, maybe he's trying to be a bit more aggressive, keep the stumps in play and play on Param's ego to see if he wants to miss time one out to one of those leg side fielders.
Comes Bank Smith. Wide. Oh, worked through the gap nicely by our power. That's a lovely cut shot there for 4.
Freebie for Param.
Yep. That's good from Param, not looking, again, just playing good cricket shots, not looking one side of the ground, just playing what's coming down to him. And still collecting a boundary on the big side.
Bank Smith. Again, no run.
Yeah, I think Mac, you're right. I reckon it's time. I think Sandy Bay need to be a little bit brave here. I think they're just trying to keep the ball outside, away from the short boundary. But I don't think that, I don't think Uni need to use the short boundary at all. They can bat. They've got a boundary early in the over now. They can get their 6 and over.
Not that hard.
Nice change of pace there from Bank Smith. Looks like he does have a nice slower ball he can turn to. But yeah, Clive, you're right. I think with the staff that Uni has got, now your play is take wickets.
Yep.
You're not going to have a total that you can defend just by purely trying to restrict runs. You've got to take wickets.
Bank Smith around the wicket. Back in the stumps and put
Catch it
well
nose.
onto the heel.
Jeepers, that's a big strike that. He's that well. This looks like a bit of a slower ball, I reckon. Top of the stump, slower ball, straight.
Sat up on the wicket for him, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think from around the wicket, it's tough to do that. If he came over the wicket and pushed it across, even the slower ball across, the batters might actually bring in a catcher at cover. If they want to go across the line, might bring in long on and cow. So, yeah, I think it's hiding to nothing here, bowling them from around the wicket.
Hope 24 not out now. It's wide, dot ball. 11 off the over so far for Bank Smith with those 2 boundaries. Param 11 off 9 and Brad Hope 24 off 21.
I wonder how they're going to use Willoughby now. Obviously, Quepper can be their attacking leg spinner who, yes, they may go for some runs, but he could take a wicket. Willoughby's a bit more of a tighter defensive bowler. So we see Bank Smith in again, bowling wide and Hope sitting out to deep point. I think possibly this could have been a Willoughby over. He could target the stumps and basically just not leave the stumps, and just hope that they miss one. Whereas that plan just there, that over, looked like it was just trying to bowl to one side of the field, but it wasn't going to take a wicket. So,
Yep.
yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, they definitely need to take a risk here, or they need to be braver, Sandy Bay. They can't let these two just bat. And if you're trying to defend the boundary in this position, these two will just happily hit their ones, and then every now and then they'll get a cut shot that goes in between the 2 points and goes for 4. Then your over goes to 8. So they'll keep on top of that run rate. So you've either got to bring some fielders up now that the run rate's under 6s, and try to get a few more dots in the over, or try to take a wicket.
1 for 64 off 7 overs here, chasing 140. Quepper wide, just worked into the gap on the offside for 1 there.
Would you bowl Willoughby from Quepper's end, and just get him to attack the stumps? Almost have 1 point in, go on mid wicket. go mid-wicket, or not even a 45, go mid-wicket, attack the stumps and see if they want to play across the line.
Yeah, possibly.
And back away.
Possibly, yeah. It depends if they want to bowl Queps 4 overs back to back. As we see Pal working into the leg side here out to Ben Dunk. Yeah, I think the Willoughby one, it's just more of an ego play. If he's going to bowl from the southern end, it's just playing on these guys' egos. The players that they are, they're rarely going to make a mistake. And on a pitch like this, you're not going to spin them out and do them like that. You've got to try and just make them make a bit of a silly mistake.
Yep.
Taking a risk that they probably didn't need to, but just because maybe get them thinking, you know what, like I want to show these blokes that I can hit this spinner onto the hill.
Yep.
And that may bring something about. It's just slightly changing the way you may approach it.
Yep. Queps just missed a few times here, too wide. He's just not quite attacking the stumps, but even like with the field he's got, no mid-wicket. Even when he does attack the stumps, he's just an easy single. So I don't know whether they'd,
It's true there. That's good running there from a Pal and Hope.
Yeah, you'd like to bring one of the points over, or even the 45.
Well, it depends on what Queps is comfortable with. It looks like as a leg spinner, you'd probably want the 2 points. But even the 45, you can square your backward square up if they want to lap and see if they want to lap. Just get them to play a different shot because they can't let them keep playing with a straight bat because you're not going to get them out that way.
Yeah. That lap provides a risk off the stumps, whereas at the moment, no risk, and they're getting 2 for it.
Exactly, yeah.
And that looks like the conversation that Harry was just having with Harry Nichols, having that conversation with Quepper there, and he's come into a mid-wicket to stop that. So.
Good player like Hope, he's going to look to maybe play the reverse sweep. He may not even have to, but again, that ego piece, he may want to show that he can play the reverse sweep and hit a boundary there. So it's good thinking from the Sharks. I do like it.
Yeah, and you can't, unfortunately, because they haven't got the runs on the board and the run rate's under 6s, you can't just let them bat. You've got to find a way to make them play different shots. Like you said, Mac, play on their ego a little bit maybe, and try to find a way to get some more dots or build some pressure.
Quepper. Good on drive there from a Pal for a single as we 1 for 72 at the end of the 8th. Pal 12 or 13 not out, and Hope 31 not out. Uni doing it pretty easy at the moment.
Yeah, even that ball there, I think that's a good option. That's the best option for from Queps because if that bounces a little bit, you might get a return catch. If Param gets a little bit greedy and has to go a bit squarer, can get caught at mid-wicket. So at least he's attacking the stumps and he's getting the play straight, and not just let him cut him out for 1.
Should be Willoughby now.
So we see a partnership's just built to 33 off 24. I feel like we've blinked and Param's already 13 off 11. It's just the kind of player he is and the season he's having. He can do no wrong. He's come out there, he's been busy, he's off strike, he's striking at over 100. And now Sharks are scratching their head. They've got Harry Nichols and Gabe Bell in conference with Willoughby this is what we asked for. This is good. And hopefully Willoughby is brave, does keep the stumps in play, and you never know. Bang, bang here. It's a different looking game.
Yeah, it's when the good players, they can...
Willoughby.
So Willoughby comes in.
Work down the ground for 1.
To these 2 good players, with Hope and Param, I don't think they'll look to hit everything to the short boundary. I reckon if Willoughby gives them enough width, they'll go over cover as well, or through cover, which is a big boundary there. So it's a tough one here for Willoughby, but I think he's just got to keep attacking the stumps.
Well fielded there by Nichols. Top ball.
And this is the bravery that we've seen here. I think that you needed, that Sandy Bay needed. They only had 4 out that ball, no deep mid wicket, and now this mid wicket drops back
Into Bell's pocket out there.
Catch.
Gee, that's great effort by the fielder out there, but it's another 6 for Hope, who now moves to 37. That was very flat hit, wasn't it?
Flat 6 there. I think he wanted a little bit more elevation on that, but he got enough of it and in the gap too. So the diving save.
Just watching that replay as well there, Clive. He seems to be coming very wide in the crease. Is that normal for Willoughby?
Yeah, I think he does. I think it allows him to hit the stumps a little bit more as it angles in. But if he can use his crease a little bit more, it might give him a little bit more variation because he's not a big spinner. The wider angle also won't help him either.
So that angle, Clive, you create that because if he's coming straight down the batter's eye line and it's not spinning, it becomes so much easier. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's just a little easier to slide onto the stumps from that angle. But I think you need to use the crease a little bit more. You can come a little bit closer to the stumps, and it might give him a little bit of spin off the wicket. It's something Yo and both used to talk about a little bit when it's bowling is like sometimes coming closer to the stumps can take away the angle for batters, and then it stops them from hitting. It's a little bit harder to hit square the wicket. So yeah, I think Willoughby here can keep attacking the stumps, but use the crease a little bit more.
Willoughby. Oh, well bowled.
It's well bowled.
Was there an edge there?
Looks like there was an edge. Looking at the Sharks players out there, 1 for 81.
As looks like Kate and Hine there just giving a little bit of nod to Harry Nichols, saying that it might have been an edge.
Surprising from Hine, he's very solid, rarely makes a mistake. Someone who has been very, very consistent for the Sharks for a number of years.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the best keepers in the competition up to the stumps as well. Probably comes from playing a little bit of indoor cricket, Tasmanian representative. But yeah, one of the great, he's got really good hands up to the stumps to fast bowlers and spin.
That last over is a good example, though, of that one boundary and then the 3 singles, and they've done it very easily, haven't they? Now the run rate's gone down again. It's nearly down to 5s.
Well, there's 9 off that last over with barely any risk.
Yep.
Yeah. As we see a change in the bowling, Clive Rose, your man. You saw this earlier. You saw him warming up in the indoors. What can you tell us about Ben Dunk's bowling?
I can tell you that he probably spins them a little bit less than Tommy Willoughby does.
Bit of reverse spin. It spins the other way. It spins that less.
Comes in front of the umpire, around the wicket.
Jeez, not a bad start.
But cagey, like he's
It's a great run in there.
you know, he's bowled a few. He's bowled a couple. I reckon he's bowled a couple of big bash overs in the power play. I reckon.
And taken wickets.
Yeah. You know, undercuts the ball a little bit. Cagey can change his pace and his length pretty well.
Do you reckon a little bit of bend in the elbow, you're saying? Is
I'll
that
just,
okay.
I don't know if it's a little bit suspect. But
Is this street legal? That looks all right. I think maybe that's why he's wearing the long sleever as well. Give himself a few extra degrees. But maybe he's playing on the old imagine if you got out to me kind of play. Is that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a consideration.
Absolutely. You see Payne did it a few years ago, take the new ball, so it's not a bad ploy. It's a little partnership breaker.
Tell you what though, you started very well here.
Yeah, yeah. And I think like nice feel around the wicket. He's got mid-wicket in, 45, only 4 on the offside, so he's still been able to build some dots. Forced a sweep shot out of hope there.
So the right-hander coming around the wicket, what's he thinking there, Clive?
I think he just he's just locking off one side of the ground. He's probably not going to get an LBW, but it's also going to help try to build pressure and force him to try to back away and try to force something off the stumps.
Dot ball there by Dunk. 4 off the over so far.
I'd love to see a reverse sweep, please. Please. Come on. Just do it, you know you want to.
Partnership now 46 off 35 balls. Another single down the ground. Safe cricket.
Boring.
1 for 86 after 10. Uni definitely on top here. Now only requiring 54 runs to win from this last 10 overs, so 5.4 is the required run rate. And it looks to be Gabe Bell that wants to take the ball here.
Yeah, I think the worst case scenario again here for Sandy Bay is probably that they finish the game and they lose, and Belly's still got an over or 2 left. So, you know, you strike bowler in, come in and try to take a wicket. Use the short ball, use the short boundary, see if they want to take it on, and see if you can snag a wicket down there to the short boundary side. Bowling with only 3 out at the moment. 4 out.
Did have a quick think. I thought it might have been the
short
surge
third goes
maybe.
down.
I suppose there's no real need right now to take the surge if you're Uni, right? You're doing it so easy with the field out.
Well, if Uni's smart, they could bowl the surge. They could do the surge next over, make sure Belly bowls one of those overs, and then his overs are done. So then they'd have no death bowling with Gabe Bell.
Yep. Yep.
If it gets that deep.
Yeah, that's a good. That's not a bad tactic, that I reckon.
Bell, southern end.
Smacks it out the deep point. Saw that a little bit in the Big Bash with in the WBBL with the Hurricane girls. Heather Graham being our main surge bowler. Teams were waiting for us to bowl her in the last 10, and as soon as we bowled her, they'd take the surge straight after, so she'd have to bowl the second over the surge.
It's a
So
good
it's
play.
not a bad ploy.
Yeah.
Bell.
It's a good shot.
Great shot.
And that'll be the 50 partnership for these two as well. Easy two.
Yeah, excellent partnership here, but these two experienced players, 50 off 38 balls, not a hell of a lot of risk in those 38 balls either.
Hope 40 off 33 and Hile 20 off 18. Not lots of boundaries, but they've just worked the ball into the gaps nicely, and not too many dots, but there hasn't really been too much need to do anything extravagant. Bell. Attacking the stumps, dot ball.
Yeah, Hope's dealing in sixes only. Hasn't hit a boundary, hasn't hit a 4 yet, but 3 sixes. And Brahms 20 off 18 with only 1 boundary, so.
That's box office, that. That's good. Tell you what, I was impressed, Ben Dunk, who's Gabe Bell's aerodynamic friend. Great chase there from the man. He's getting on a bit now, but geez, he's still in good nick. Moves well, he's very active, still plays a lot of golf, playing very good golf, actually.
He's been playing a fair bit of cricket as well. I think bumped into him in indoors, and he said that he's off to IL cricket or something like that. Early Jan. So he's played a bit of Masters tournament, Masters cricket for Australia, around the world as well. So he's still playing a fair few tournaments and around the year. So
I saw he played in the T10 in the West Indies. I think it's the 60 max, where a few of the Tassie boys were playing over in that as well. Comes Bell.
bowled.
Done that very easily, haven't they? Single down the ground. 4 off the over so far.
Yeah, so that's like a, I feel like that was you need to take the risk there. I know there's 2 balls left in the over, but do you really need long on back? Keep hitting top of the stumps, belly, and ask him to take on your straights, and you might get one caught at long on, at mid on.
It's a big hit too down there.
Yeah.
Against an oldish ball. Like that's quite a risk.
Oh, good Yorker. There.
That's that skill that we were talking about with Gabe Bell. He's absolutely nailed that, and that's something that would not look Australian in a big bash setup.
Yeah.
But he's also got the skills to rip through a side with a red ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very impressive.
It's 3 for 16 from his 3 overs now with the 5 wides, so only 11 off the bat from those 3 overs. So great spell here from Bell.
I know I remember bumping into Rob Castle, the bowling coach for the Tigers, and talked about Belly and how well he was going in the pre-season. And he also said how good of an option he would be in white ball cricket. They did some T20 or white ball bowling and some target hitting stuff, and he was nailing all those targets just as much, or even better than all the other bowlers as well. So I think you might be right, Mac, around that. Just worried about him and his workloads in red ball cricket coming into the white ball too. As the partnership bracket comes back on for a second over.
And Dunk, 4 off the first. Starting his second over here, 1 for 90 at University. So Hope just works it down the ground for an easy single. 50 runs required now. 20 off 19. 1 wicket with the ball. Just about sums up his season, right? Just good tight bowling, and now just seems to be doing it very easily with the bat. Works it into the leg side. They might look for 2 here. Just a single.
Nice work out there from Galen. He's taken it on. He's come in a bit closer and he's chopped off the 2. It's good. It's brave cricket, and that's something that these cricketers can learn from these first-class guys coming back into the setup. There's small little things like that just make you a better cricketer.
Oh no!
Mix up here. Oh no! Brad Hope's run out.
Boy.
That's
Out of nowhere, really.
a blow up.
Hope not happy about that one. We didn't hear anything on the stump mic, but
Yeah, it was probably unnecessary, wasn't it? Tight one. They're going pretty well. A little bit of a fumble there by Belly. But yeah, geez, it's just giving him a little bit of a window to Sandy Bay here.
Righto, whose fault was it?
Gee, if looks
Okay.
could kill, Brad Hope did not look very
If
happy
I
there,
had to
did he?
choose,
Whose fault?
I'm choosing Hope.
Okay. Yep. It's interesting because I've played a fair bit of cricket with Param, and he is involved in a lot of running.
Oh, no.
So that's just
Right.
me. I'm just thinking, could it be?
Yeah.
Maybe. But from up here, it did look like, I'm not quite sure that was on.
Yeah.
But,
It was Hope's call.
yep.
Hope was a long
And
way
he
also
off.
sees the
just,
angle.
I don't know. You always
Hope.
get a bit nervous when you're batting with Param.
Yeah, well,
Could have been ball watching.
to be fair, I've been watching him run between the wickets the last few. When they've been easy ones, he's sort of been walking them a
Walks.
little bit.
He
So I
walks
don't
it.
know whether he's
Yeah.
he's a bit ginger, he's a bit sore, or he's
He
just
always
he's
does
leaning on his bat a little bit from the non-strikers.
that.
Problem now.
Or the kind of guy that always runs his twos a bit harder
Yeah.
than the other one's twos.
He didn't hit it, so
Yeah.
So even though Hope's out now, in comes Tim Ward, who's been in terrific form for the Tigers. Straight away works one for a single there, and I was about to say before, this has been the problem for the Sharks now. They've got such talent on the uni list where Ward's out there now, then comes Jake Doran. It's not going to be easy for him here.
Well, Ward's been informed with the Tigers and with Uni. He made 130 not out, was it, on the weekend? I feel like his last few innings over the last month, he's making mountains of runs.
Just shows how cricket can be a funny game, right? Start of the season, wasn't playing in the Shield team and found his way back in through good performances in the CTPL and I think in the second 11 as well, but it just shows that you continue to put runs together. You never know, right?
Yeah, well, as we see Param hitting into the leg side here out to Willis, he's the most informed batter for Tassie at the moment. He's been rewarded with some CA games in January up in Brisbane, which is great. And look, he's putting his best foot forward. He's also making runs across different formats, which is showing that he has range. He's not just being pigeonholed, which is great for Tassie. Like these players like Ward or Bell with the ball, they've got range. You can pick them across different formats, and when they're needed, they can slide in and play the role perfectly.
Another guy like Bell who maybe might have been pigeonholed to being a red ball player, like he hasn't played a lot of white ball stuff for Tasmania.
Yeah, exactly. But again, like he's played a few of these Hurricanes warm-up games. He's made runs. Did that last year as well. I reckon the best I've ever seen him bat was last year in a Hurricanes warm-up game at Lindisfarne, and he absolutely belted them. He hit it better than anyone on the day. Had Matthew Wade there, Tim David, these world-class players, and he hit it the cleanest out of them all. Specky.
what sort of T20 batter is he, Mac? Is he a Reggie type, where Ben McDermott type, where he bludgeons the ball, or is he surgeon it? Is he?
More surgeon. He hits
Yeah.
gaps. He doesn't have that huge power game. He just is really precise with where he places the ball, which can be a valuable asset.
Yep.
Clumpy here, coming from the other end, right behind us, in front of us, sorry. To his third over, one off.
So we see the equation come down to 45 runs to win with just under 8 overs left.
Yeah, that red isn't the easiest to pick up off the screen, is it?
Just under 6 and over, 5.7. So there's no need to take a risk here from Uni, but I also think you don't want to be leaving it to the last over either.
Yeah, Dunk has sort of slowed the run rate down a little bit there. It was getting down to around 5 and now it's climbing back up again to around that 6, but they're still not really under too much pressure, are they? But another couple of wickets here and you never know in T20 cricket. Only the 4 out instead of 5, Cupper. Single. Dunk moving well.
What do you think they do here, Mac? You reckon would you bowl Belly pretty soon? Is 4 out to these two and try to jag another wicket, or do you hold on to him?
I think you've got to keep him for the surge. Catch it. Top edge from
gap.
Param out to the deep. Just didn't carry.
Whoever that is at deep square didn't quite pick that up, I reckon.
Yeah, was he walking in off the boundary too?
I think he was on the boundary, and I don't reckon he knew where it was. He
Okay.
sort of just stood still, and then he just picked it up late and went at it. But
yeah.
it's Sam Voss out there, deep square.
Didn't hang for very long in the air, but
No.
definitely a chance.
Yeah.
Warren on strike. Oh, good start.
Just games where little things like that don't go your way and it's just not your day. That can be how fickle cricket is.
Absolutely.
A couple of those moments go your way and it's a very different looking day for you.
Sharks 2 for 97. Sorry, Uni 2 for 97. Worked around behind square for a single. Yeah, Pile back on strike.
I wonder what they do surge-wise now. Whether they take it soon, give Wardy a chance to get some boundaries with the field up, or hold it, keep it for the back, just as a bit of a joker in the stack.
Slice it up.
I think if Param is going to keep, like I say, it looks like he's playing a bit more aggressively than he was before. If he's going to take these risks, I think you might as well take the surge. Because the last thing you want is Param to get out with 5 out, getting held out in the deep when he could have taken it when he's in. But I like taking the positive option back, and I like taking this. They take the surge early. You can bat these guys out of the game. Your 2 surgos go for 15, 20 runs. Suddenly, instead of needing 5, you need 3 or 4 and over. And the game's over. So with these 2 in as well, I don't think you need to take a risk. I think you still play good cricket shots with the surge and still find a boundary. If your surge goes for 12 runs, you take that as well because you're still in the game. And then you make Zandy Bay make a decision later on in the game when it gets tight, whether they have to bring some fielders up or not.
Dunk to continue here into his
The partnership breaker on again.
3rd over. Inspired decision by Bell as captain here. Single down the ground.
Clive, do we owe Ben Dunk an apology for talking slightly down on his bowling at the start, or do we think it's still warranted and they just haven't really taken a risk?
I think he's played to his strengths, Ben Dunk. I think he's not trying to bowl glory balls. He's not trying to spin and bounce them off the wicket and try to get them caught at short leg or at slip. He's bowled to his field really nicely. He's locked off one side of the ground, and he's built pressure. He's slowed the momentum of the game.
You see now they've only gone the 3 out. They could have 5. Slightly down the leg side, single.
See some good running there from Upal, trying to prove my earlier comments wrong too.
It's because he wants to strike.
Trying really hard now. Yes, also that. He's greedy.
So why do you think Dunk's going the 5 out to the righty and then only the 3 to the lefty as he comes in? Works into the leg side there. Is it just because Ward's come into bat, he's the new batsman?
I think he's just picking your battles. He's bowling gentle off spin with no spin, spinning into a right-hander, or who's also a set batter. He's been there for a while. I think it's just not really worth sacrificing a possible boundary.
Oh,
So we see Tim
got a hold of
Ward
that.
going
Jeepers.
long under the offside.
Well into the red zeb beyond the boundary stage there.
Yes. This is roll back to Bunky at the top of his mark now as well.
Continuing on from Brad Hope there, operating in 6s only.
I mean,
That was a great strike.
That's what they were
But-
hoping for, though. Like
Yeah.
they want to entice him into that, and if that goes straight up in the air, beautiful plan.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a good shot from a good player who's taken a calculated risk to a 57-metre boundary.
2 for 108.
I think as an off spinner, you want to bowl to left-hander, right?
Yeah.
So I think he probably would rather bowl to Wardy than he would to Param at this stage of the game.
You saw he just went higher and slower that ball as well.
Yeah,
Took the pin
cagey.
properly out of it. That's
Yeah.
good play. It's,
Yeah.
hey, same ball, take me on. Tim Ward didn't want to borrow it.
Around the wicket. A bit quicker that one. Slid down the leg side. Bit of a chase now. As it runs away. It's hitting the boundary there for 4. It's unlucky for Dunk. He's been pretty good in his 3 overs and 2 balls for 10 runs, and that's probably his spell done.
Yeah, he tried to go fast into the wicket then. I think he could have just gone slow and thrown it up. I reckon. I don't think Param was going to take him on there. So, unfortunately, it's gone for a boundary, and the run rate now down under 5s.
Yeah, so 14 off that over, and now 27 off 36 to win for Uni. That one over there really took the pressure off. Pile on 31 off 28, and Ward 11 off 7. That nice 6 onto the short boundary there. Seems to be deep discussion here between Dunk and Bell as to what happens next. Looks like it's Banks Smith, or is that Cupper coming back on for another over?
Yeah, I think that's Quipper
Yeah.
bowling. Yeah. Param looks a bit sore there. He's stretching the back out. Yeah, this is definitely, they have to, this is boom or bust it. You can't let these two just keep batting now, so you have to take a risk. Sandy Bay, need to bring a fielder up.
As it
One
is
of the straights maybe, get them teeing against the spin potentially.
looks like Bank Smith actually. I didn't think the leg spin might have been a bad play there. Bank Smith coming in over the wicket, left-hander, attacking the stumps, single, running hard. Now it's just 26 off 35 balls. So this uni squad, they've now won the Kookaburra Cup and looking pretty good here for a T20 title. I don't want to put the knockers on them. Can Damien Wright claim any of this, or is it all Ben Hilfenhaus as a new coach, Clive? Bank Smith comes in. Wide one, good take behind.
I don't know whether Righty's here, and if he's not, he's definitely listening, so I'll just hold off on that. Nah, I think Hilfy's taken over a little bit for most of it, I think. Righty been away with the West Indies girls team. I think he was away in India with them, whether he's there now or has just come back. So I think Hilf and Bolts and a few other people have been helping out there.
Comes Bank Smith.
He's definitely laid a foundation for success, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, it's exactly. I think Righty's actually brought together some players into this team, recruited well, and then built some experienced players with some of the young players he's got in his team. The Louis Smiths, you know, Jericho Dickens is coming up as well. So I think they've put a good side together.
Bank Smith.
Nice length. Oh.
Good angle coming in there towards the left-handed bat.
I like that angle, just cramping up Ward, keeping the stumps in play again, trying to cut off the stumps with a ball that's angling in.
Right on the top of off, isn't it?
So a little bit of tang there.
A little bit, yeah. He
Reverse.
looked like it was on like an outswing seam.
Power
Sort of just
fade.
angled in.
2 for 115. Bank Smith. It's unlucky. Would have liked the dot ball there. Just 3 off the over so far. It's been a good over so far from Bank Smith.
Who's man of the match?
Louis Smith bowled very well. I'm looking at the runs. Brad Hope batted well as well. Just having a look down the scorecard now. Obviously Willoughby with his 46, but probably goes out to the offside there, and he's a single for a pole. Yeah, Louis Smith 2 for 33, and then you've got a pole 1 for 28, Doreen 1 for 23, Christian 1 for 22.
Interesting question that, Mac, because it seems like the uni boys have all like bowled pretty well as a group. No one really stood out too much for me, but I think their bowling set them up for this game. Their batters. If Param gets, you know, how many runs are left here to get? 23. If Param ends up on 40 something odd, do you give it to Param for finishing the game off? What it
Yeah, it hasn't been standouts, has it? It's just been everyone chipping in.
I think we're looking at the scorecard there. University might have taken the surge. No, they're just bowling one more over here from Bell. So this is real roll of the dice here, isn't it? Where you bring your best bowler back on for his last over, knowing that they're probably not going to use the surge until those last 2 overs. So you're hoping to take a few wickets and really put the pressure on.
Yeah, you have to. You can't finish the game off with Belly, you know, only bowling 3 overs. So
Bell Choi.
See if they can take 8 for 20.
no, that's rare misfield from Nichols. He's probably one of the better fielders in the competition, and he's had a couple of misfields today. Old age getting him, you reckon?
It's on the double knee slide there on the square. I love that.
Yeah,
That's box
it's
office.
gutsy.
Bell looks to be coming around the wicket to Ward. 2 out in the leg, 2 out in the off. Comes. Ward walking looking at him. Very strongly straight to mid-off.
He shuffled across, trying to get to the leg side there. Belly moved with him and followed him. Good adjustment there.
Do we see Ward go downtown here, or maybe a flick over to the Tasmania side, over deep mid-wicket?
No, he's shuffled across then. I don't know whether he goes again and just holds, sees if he gets a length, he can go straight. Where's Wardy's normal position? Where do you reckon he tries to hit his boundaries, or strong hitting his boundaries off pace?
Well, he's strong through the covers, especially like a square drive. But if he is to go, he probably would go that mid-wicket region, I reckon.
Yep.
22 required now off 27 balls. A few dots from Bell might make it interesting here. Comes Bell. Ward walking at him again. There's a chance.
Oh,
It's a good field of Willis.
nice pick up and throw then.
Great effort.
Maybe wrong end there. Could have he maybe gone for
Maybe.
Par's end? See the replay to see if Ram was off to the races early.
Could beat Param in another run out. Gee.
That's not a stat you
He's
want.
going to hate listening back to this.
Hope you're on good terms, mate.
Yeah. Hey, he's just given me enough
Oh,
smoke.
another one there.
Oh.
Gee.
You reckon there's a little bit of smoke there?
Yeah, smoke this fire.
Yes.
It's a warm day at Ninja Stadium.
It is a warm day. Maybe these clouds will come extinguish that
Yeah,
fire.
potentially. It's good running though. That tight single, but he seemed to get home pretty easily there. 2 for 120. Ward 14 not. Par 35. Comes Bell. Wedge there.
Bowled again.
Got ball to finish.
It's really well bowled.
3 off the over. Bell none for 19. Unlucky not to get a wicket, but I think Uni had their wits about them there and knew that there was really no need to do anything too extravagant to their best bowler.
Geez, if they had an extra 20 or 30 runs to play with, it would be a completely different looking game. You saw that over from Bell, and how just the last few overs, a boundary has looked a lot harder to come by.
Yep.
They could have a few overs back to back like that, with the run rate required being up at an 8 or 9. Geez, it'd be game on, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's certainly not out of the game, Sandy Bay here. It's what do they need? 20 off 4 overs. Of 24 balls. So one good over here from a bowler, a wicket and a few dots. If you can get that, if you can get it to run a ball, maybe in the last 2. Surge to come too, which always brings about a few more dots, potentially even a wicket. You never know what can happen. I've seen funnier things here at this ground, particularly a couple of years ago in the grand final.
Well, when the Farnies won. Or?
So the leggy back on here. Just the 2 out. I think they might have potentially taken the surge. Or are they just trying to put the pressure on a little bit here? I didn't see any signals. How about you guys?
I was looking at the scoreboard, unfortunately. I'm not sure.
I was looking at this fly on the screen here.
But I can't imagine they've only got 2 out to the leggy on purpose.
It's a good start. Dot ball.
Another dot ball. Could be a genius move if it wasn't.
Yeah. If you're the batters, are you sort of thinking about the fact that you probably don't want the last 2 overs to be the surge here and you might take it a little bit earlier?
Yeah, I think so. I think you want to win the game. You want to finish the game off.
Still tossing it up.
Got
That's
the
a
length he
great
wanted.
shot.
And he's hit it into
Massive 6.
into the chairs. It's a great shot. Quepper just getting a little bit full there. Param moving across the crease.
Beautiful shot. 41 now he's moved to.
It's good skills there by Param. He'd been backing away or batting on leg stump for most of the game to spin, trying to hit them to the offside. He's just trying to access that leg side boundary by moving across the crease to off.
It's only his 3rd boundary too, the 2 4s and a 6. A lot of his have come in 1s and 2s. Copper. Oh, Pile goes again.
Slog sweep.
Oh.
That's another. That's even bigger.
That's well and truly onto the hill. Not bouncing back this time. As Uni are really accelerating to the finish line here. 8 off 21 required.
Yeah, I think it was a brave move to bowl Quepper in the surge, and I think you sort of had to take that risk. So certainly not. He's had a hard into nothing a little bit here. He can be a hero or not. So unfortunately, just got a little bit full to hit a Param. And I think he needs to keep attacking the stumps.
8 off 21 here. Oh, that one goes fine as well. That's going to be 4. And that's a past 50. Great work here from Apal, captain of the university, leading run scorer in the competition, leading wicket taker, and he's really just reminding a few today.
Well played, Param. His great year continues. He's done a great job leading his team, and it's been no exception here today as the partnership moves on to 44, 31. These two have just done it as a breeze.
4 to win here for university. Pile goes again.
I think he has enough of that.
And it's another 6. What a finish from Apal there as University win their 2nd title of the year to match their Kookaburra Cup win just a few months earlier. What a great innings there from Apal as he makes 57. Clive Rose, talk us through it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's done an excellent job. He's timed his run perfectly in this batting innings as well. He's batted with his partner as well. He looked like he didn't take a risk early on his innings, and this over was the first time we've seen a little bit of risk taken from him, and he took the game on at the right time. Unfortunately for Sandy Bay, he just didn't quite have enough runs, and I think they probably didn't have the lost 2 wickets in the power play that sort of hurt them. And then they weren't able to take those risks through those middle overs, and take advantage of that short boundary.
Talk us through some of these highlights that we're about to see now.
Yeah,
now, Mac.
well, he's just finished the game 6-6, 4-6, but most of his innings was characterised by just being quite busy. He didn't hit a lot of boundaries up until that point, but look, he just assessed the situation. He's an experienced player now, and he's just showed his class. He just didn't take any unnecessary risk, and then he saw the chance at the end there that, right, this is a good matchup. Let's finish the game early. Let's not leave anything up to chance. Let's not take it down to the wire. I'm just going to go bang, 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 and he's done that. He's got that in his package. So, well played, Param. It's been a great day for him and his uni Lions, who all managed to contribute in some way or another.
Yeah, and I think it was the bowling that really set it up well. Louis Smith with the 2 early wickets, seeing Ben Dunk dismissed for a golden duck. That was a massive wicket for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. What a better way to get started for the Lions than a wicket first ball of Ben Dunk.
Just so to finish, we've got South Hobart Sandy Bay, Ben Dunk out for a duck. Voss 6, Willis 27, Thomas Willoughby 46, Harry Nichols 10 off 11, Oakes 30, not out with Archie Smith. Louis Smith 2 for 33 to go with Param with 1 for 28, and Dooley 1 for 23, and Christian Yankonwiak 1 for 22. For University, it was Chapman with 22 off 12, Hope 42 off 38, Apal with that match-winning innings there of 57 off 38, and Tim Ward 14 off 14. Best of the bowlers was Galeem with 1 off 18 for South Hobart Sandy Bay. I think we move down now for the celebrations and the presentations, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure being up here with you guys today. I hope you've enjoyed listening, guys, and potentially there might be another opportunity soon.
Sounds great.
Yeah, thanks, PC. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Cheers.